We're like rock stars, you know.
To bring him up for our Fergus game, and just never happened. It just pneumonia kind of takes over, and you just didn't have enough strength to fight it. But he loved flyer hockey. He loved sports in general. He loved listening to the Twins and the Wild, and we watched many of hockey games, Wild games, and I was fortunate to at least have him for 2 months up here, and got to see him almost every day, and that was a good thing. But a lot of good memories, and obviously when you're a young kid and you look up to your dad, and that's what I did, just like everybody else. So it was a tough deal. It's never easy watching your parents pass away or get to that point, and you can't really do anything about it. So I just wanted to comfort him, and it looked like he wasn't in any pain or anything. So we just were there for him, and my kids got to say goodbye to him, and I did, and it was a tough deal. But again, there's not much you can do when things happen, and there's just no resources with him. I mean, not maybe resources, but just not being able to fight it anymore, and that's kind of what happened.
Well, I tell you what, the one thing that's nice is the hockey family always rallies around tragic things or, tough times, and I'm sure this hockey family in Little Falls has definitely rallied around your family.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of text messages and emails from people in town, and phone calls and visits, and then, again, definitely outside of the hockey community of Little Falls. I have an extended hockey family and friends and things like that. A lot of text messages and things like that. So people that you haven't talked to a couple years that are still your friends, you just don't get an opportunity to see them very much or communicate with them. Text me, and that's always good, comforting, and friends. As long as I'm around people and talking hockey and talking about whatever, then it keeps your mind off what happened.
Well, once again, our condolences to you and your family for the passing of your father.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right, get back to the ice now. Of course, unfortunately, you had a tough loss against Sartell, and really just not a good game at all. You come in, first of all, you had one of your players with a sickness, and then the next thing you have a player go down in the first period with an injury, and then actually you're within the game in 2-1 late, but finally the depth maybe caught up to you, and Sartell beat you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you get a player, Andrew Murad was sick, you try to adjust. Usually people step up, but then when another player goes down during the game, and you're asking another player to try to step up into his position was just, I guess, overwhelming for us. Justin struggled a little bit in the net. He's played just fantastic this year, but struggled a little bit. But like you said, it was 2-1 with about 5 minutes left in the second period, and all of a sudden, I believe they scored 3 goals in like 4 minutes, and all of a sudden it's 5-1, and what just happened? And then going into the third period, we put Will in there for a little spark, and he played very well. I think he was 11 of 12. We mustered up some shots. I mean, they had us for about 33 shots, which I didn't think we had, but we had some shots. We had some opportunities, and what really kind of hurt us too is that when you lose 2 of those kids that are on your first power play, and you get an opportunity to get into the power play, and we had a 5-on-3, we couldn't muster up any goals from that. We had shots, we missed the net, but I told the kids after the game, let's learn from this, but in a nutshell, we got to forget about it because we got another game come Friday, and it's bigger and better right now. So absolutely need to play well tonight. I mean, that's going to be the key.
All right, let's talk about Friday. The Alexandria Cardinals. Murad is back in the lineup, Capan is back in the lineup, and a guy named Ben Sawada is back in the lineup tonight. That has to be a good feeling to hear.
Yeah, he went down, I believe, the fourth or fifth game of the season. So he against Litchfield broke his collarbone, and knew he was going to come back at a certain time in February. We weren't sure, and it's been, I think, maybe close to 8 weeks or so, 8 or 9 weeks. So we love to have him back. He's our captain. At the time that he left us with a broken collarbone. He was playing fantastic, scoring some goals, scoring some power play goals. Things were clicking. That was really depressing that day that it happened, and it really hurts not to have him out on the ice. But we learned to live without him, and now we get him back. So we're extremely happy. There's always that. I hope he's ready, and he's going to be a little game shape, not in game shape, and but he's going to add a spark. And just to have him out on the ice is going to be a great feeling for our kids, our players, the fans, the coaching staff, for him, for his parents, his senior year. So we're glad to have him back, and I think he's going to make a difference for us.
All right, tonight is Alexandria, and really this game, there's two things that can go. A win, and you have a good shot at getting a home game. A loss, and you're definitely going on the road come playoff time.
Well, that's the way it looks like, unless we work some magic. But obviously the River Lakes game was very crucial for us. We didn't play very well. They played a lot better. They came into our barn and beat us 2-1. So we're not hiding that. We have some good. Up until the Sartell game, we had some good play against some of our top teams, including Sartell the first time. But it's good to be at home too. We went on the road early on. I think it was our third or fourth game against Alexandria, in Alexandria. I thought we were outplayed at times, but just kind of hung in there and tied 3-3. And I think we were outshot badly in the overtime, 10-1, I believe it was. But Justin played well. We ended with a tie, and that was a good effort on our part early on to go to Alexandria. They got some high-end kids. They got the Doherty and the Westland kid. They're high-end kids, and we're going to have our troubles with them tonight, and hopefully we can get to them and get some goal scores, get some pucks into the net, and it's just hopefully we can. I think early on, I think that's just a key for us to stay in the game.
All right, let's talk about the keys to the game. Of course, extension from the game back in early December, a 3-3 tie. So somebody hopefully is going to win this game tonight, and hopefully it's the Flyers. What do you need to do to get the win?
Well, I think number one, I think we always go back to Justin Bakula. He has played very well for us this year. Not too many shaky games, so he really needs to step up tonight. And we've talked about goaltenders winning games for us. We need Justin to play very well. I'm not going to say that we need him to win the game for us, but he needs to play well and give us a chance to win the game. I think that is will be a big part of the game tonight. Other than that, I think that we need to be physical. I think they did not like it when we were physical last time when we played them in Alexandria in early December, I think. So I think our physical play needs to be there, and then getting pucks to the net. I think we struggle sometimes against better teams, getting shots on net. We just need to throw some pucks on net and find out what happened. I think they're sometimes their goaltenders not the strongest, I think. So we need to test their goaltender and see, And I think, the other thing, you look at some of their scores, they've had some very big wins this year, but they've had some games where, you kind of question what happened there. So hopefully that'll be one of those games tonight. We'll catch them off guard a little bit. But, this is going to be a good tilt tonight. I think both teams are ready, and both coaching staff know that this is an important game.
A lot on the line on this one. Coach, good luck tonight. We'll talk to you after the game.
You bet. Thanks, James.
Once again, that is the head coach of Little Falls Flyers. That is Tony Kuchar, and our interview has been brought to you by Peterson Body Shop, your best decision after a collision. When we come back, Jamie Pettit will have the starting goaltenders. Little Falls, Alexandria, up next on Q92 and FallsRadio.com. And a very good evening, TV viewers, and welcome to the Exchange Arena here in Little Falls, where tonight it is boys high school hockey on Flyer Media Productions on Channel 181, The Cube, and YouTube. James Hershey along with Jamie Pettit here. We invite you and glad to have you in tonight for this contest between the Little Falls Flyers and the Alexandria Cardinals. And Jamie, this game is a huge game for both teams.
Well, considering they tied earlier this year, way back in November, 3-3 in overtime, in a game that Little Falls trailed twice, 2-0 and 3-1 on home ice tonight, it has huge implications for Section 6A seeding. Tuesday night, Little Falls Falls lost to Sartell 6-1. Not one of their better games of the year. But Alexandria played last night. They were on the road. They played in Fergus Falls. They beat the Fergus Falls Otters 6-3. So this is the second half of a 2-game swing for the Alexandria Cardinals, both on the road. How will they react?
For the Little Falls Flyers, they get good news. First of all, there was a sickness to Andy Murad. He's back in the lineup. Jake Capan had an injury in the first period of the game on Tuesday against Sartell. He's back in the lineup. And a guy that's been out of the lineup for almost 9 weeks, Ben Sawada, he's back in the lineup.
Yeah, it could have been doomsday tonight as far as the line chart if Capan hadn't recovered and Murad didn't get healthy. But, of course, that flu's been going around, it seems like, throughout the entire state. So Murad missed Tuesday night's game with the flu, and Capan got dinged up in the first period, and Sawada hasn't played since November. And so you've got those 3 seniors that essentially didn't play Tuesday night. They're in the lineup tonight. Ben Sawada will center the second line. Murad will be on the left, and Ethan Ballou on the right. Capan will be up on the first line with his line mates of Devin Young and Mario Philippi. But Tony Kuchar has mentioned it throughout the season. When it comes to big games, your seniors have to come through, and the seniors are going to have to step up tonight.
All right, we're also on the radio. We'll bring our radio audience in once again on Q92 and also on fallsradio.com as we're at the Exchange Arena here for boys high school hockey tonight. The Flyers 10-8-3 on the year. The Cardinals 12-8-1 and are ranked 13th in the state in Class A. As we mentioned, a very important game come seeding time because anything could happen with the seeding right now the way it's set up.
Well, we talked about it earlier. If Alexandria wants to be a 2 seed, I think they need to win tonight, and then they need to beat Sartell on February 8th. I also believe they're going to need a little help, and that help coming in terms of Fergus Falls beating Sartell. That would be on February 10th. I believe that game's a Saturday, February 10th. So for Alexandria to get 2, I think that they need to win tonight, beat Sartell, and then have Sartell get beat by the Fergus Falls Otters. If the Little Falls Flyers want to entertain any hopes of getting home ice for the Section 6A quarterfinals, they must win tonight.
Yeah, they have to. And, of course, that slip-up they had against River Lakes back a few weeks ago, really the difference. If they would have won that game, they would be in a great position right now. They probably would already be a 4 seed and maybe trying to fight themselves into a 3rd or maybe even a 2nd seed. But right now it looks like they are the 5 seed, and a win tonight then could start muddling things up a little bit.
Yeah, that you refer to that game on January 9th. It was a home game, and Little Falls lost to River Lakes 2-1. Last year, River Lakes and Little Falls played once during the regular season. Little Falls won in overtime. Mario Philippi scored the game winner in the extra session. And because of that win over River Lakes last season, Little Falls was the 4th seed. Now this year, it's reversed. River Lakes beats Little Falls, and now, of course, River Lakes feels they have the upper edge on the Little Falls Flyers. I described it on Tuesday night during our radio broadcast. It's kind of like that sliver in the finger that the Little Falls Flyers can't get out, that loss to the River Lakes Stars.
It's there, and unfortunately, it'll be there come seeding time. And so the coaches will have to decide where they want to put the Flyers and where they want to put River Lakes. The Flyers tonight are trying to make it difficult for that coaches to say, hey, if we beat Alexandria tonight, maybe we deserve to be ahead of them.
Well, and they can make that argument. But, of course, they must get the job done on home ice, and it won't be easy. You've got a couple high-end juniors for the Alexandria Cardinals named Jack Westland and Ben Doherty. Jack Westland did not play last night for the Alexandria Cardinals. Prior to last night's game against Fergus, Alexandria went up to Bemidji and they beat the Lumberjacks 4-3 in overtime. Jack Westland received a game misconduct. As a result, he could not play last night against the Fergus Falls Otters. So Westland's back on that top line, joined by Doherty and Caleb Strong. Fasten your seatbelt. That's a good first line. They are going to give the Little Falls Flyers considerable trouble tonight.
You have 2 teams that are actually going kind of in different directions right now. If you look at Alexandria, in their last 8 games, they're 7-1. On the other side, for the Flyers, they only have 1 win to show for in their last 7 games.
Yeah, I've got Little Falls in their last 5 games. In the last 6 games, I've got them 1-4-1. And, of course, they had a tie with Monticello and then the win against Fergus Falls on Saturday night.
So they've struggled. They had at one point there they had a 4-game losing streak, and then of course the tie to Monticello, which was a good tie on the road. Then the win here on Saturday, but then the loss against Sartell. You heard head coach Tony Kuchar talk about it in the pregame show that that's a game you just gotta forget and just move on, and that's what the Flyers are going to do tonight and move on to this Cardinal team, which won't be an easy test, especially as you mentioned, having those 3 guys in Westland, Strong, and Doherty. They are the top 3 scorers. Jack Westland with 25 points, Caleb Strong with 24 points, and Ben Doherty with 22 points. Now, Ben Doherty has been injured this year, so he's been off and on. It looks like right now he's doing well, but he is right now the top scorer overall for the Cardinals on this team. He has 115 points in his career. He's only a junior right now, and he's got 42 goals.
And Jack Westland at times has been injured this year for the Alexandria Cardinals, so they are back with vengeance with Westland and Doherty. It reminds me a little bit of what we saw from St. Cloud Cathedral in 2 earlier meetings this year that Little Falls had with the St. Cloud Cathedral Crusaders. They had a 6-1 loss to St. Cloud Cathedral and a 4-3 loss in overtime. And, of course, that second line, so-called second line for the St. Cloud Cathedral Crusaders featured 2 sophomores, Jack Smith and Blake Perbix. And those 2 play so well together. They're very strong. They're persistent. And that could be the case tonight when you look at what Doherty and Westland did last season and what they've done this year.
Looking at the Flyers, the top guys, Landon Johnson, the defenseman, is the leading scorer, 16 goals, 18 assists, 34 points, and we do have him on the 100-point watch as he has 85 points in his career. He is 15 points away from that to become, I believe, number 22 on that list. Is that correct? I think there was 21 on the Flyer top 100, at least 100 points or more.
That would be correct. We have 21 in the Little Falls Flyers 100-point club. The last to go in was Thomas Miller back in 2016.
Andrew Murad, 27 points for him, and Jake Capan, 22. So when you had Murad and Capan out of that Sartell game, you're taking at least maybe a third of the scoring of this team away from this team on Tuesday.
Yeah, and that's exactly why they needed to be back in the lineup tonight. And Capan went out, back in that first period, and it really took away from the special teams. And I talked with Tony Kuchar about that after the game on Tuesday night, 6-1 loss to Sartell, what they had to do with their power play because of the lack of Jake Capan and Andrew Murad with the man advantage, and Murad's one of their better penalty killers.
All right, let's go down with Tim Brummer and get the starting lineups for this game tonight.
1, Jack Pohl. Sophomore defenseman, number 26, Matt Carlson. Sophomore forward, number 3, Caleb Strong. Junior forward, number 7, Ben Doherty. And junior center, number 10, Jack Westland. The head coach is Ian Resch, the Alexandria Cardinals. And now, here's the starting lineup for your Little Falls Flyers. Senior goaltender, number 31, Justin Akula. Senior defenseman, number 19, Landon Johnson. Junior defenseman, number 20, Lucas Rexted. Senior forward, number 8, Jake Capan. Senior forward, number 13, Mario Filippi. And senior center, number 24, Ben Head coach of the Flyers is Tony Kuchar, assisted by Bob Stark, Chris Gomez, Wes Wetoshik, and Jared Fessler.
That's a look at the starting lineups, and when we come back, we will drop the puck. The national anthem is up next. You listen to Flyer Hockey here on Q92 and FallsRadio.com.
Football party? If so, then stop in and visit us at Design Electronics Radio Shack and check out our selection of LG TVs. Hi, this is Steve. Watch the big game in style on the new LG OLED TV. With its unbelievable picture and vivid color, you'll swear you're out on the field. And don't forget, we offer delivery and setup. You don't even have to lift a finger. For the best service, great prices, and the LG TV selection you want, stop into Design Electronics Radio Shack on the east side of Little Falls and make your house the place to watch the big game. Feeling stuck with a current loan? Mid-Minnesota Federal Credit Union is offering 1% cash back on loans refinanced from another financial institution. For a limited time, qualified borrowers could earn extra cash, a lower interest rate, and payment. For example, a $30,000 loan refinance would earn you $300. A $60,000 loan, $600. You get the point. Stop in at any Mid-Minnesota location. Call or apply online at mmfcu.org today. Loan subject to approval. Certain restrictions apply. 1% cash back could be reportable income. Mortgage, business, and student loans excluded.
When you live life on your feet, foot pain shouldn't be holding you back. If you have curled toes, bunions, diabetic issues, or lasting pain in your heels or arches, it's most effective to treat the causes and not just the symptoms. At Little Falls Orthopedics, there is never a need to travel long distances for superior care. Call on our skilled podiatric medicine and surgical team to get you back on your feet again.
That's the playing of our national anthem, and just about ready to start this one tonight as the Little Falls Flyers taking on the Alexandria Cardinals. And, of course, these two teams met back in November. It was a 3-3 tie, so we're trying to find out who is going to be the winner. Hopefully this won't go to a tie tonight, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out, Jamie.
Anything's possible. First meeting between the two teams, Alexandria couldn't hold the lead twice, plus they took too many penalties in the third period, and Little Falls was very proficient with the power play. One of their power play specialists is back tonight, Ben Sawada. Little Falls has 19 power play goals this season, 4 from Ben Sawada.
All right, we welcome back our radio listening audience. Let's take a look at our starting goaltenders. Here's Jamie Pettit.
The Alexandria Cardinals are 12-8-1. The senior Jackson Boleen starts. He's 5-4-1. He's played 529 minutes, a 2.3 goals against average, save percentage 88.9%. For the Little Falls Flyers, 10-8-3 overall. It's Justin Pakula. Pakula 9-8-3. He's played 1,000 minutes, a 2.8 goals against average, save percentage 89.6%.
All right, the puck is down. We're underway with high school hockey tonight here on Q.E2, also on fallsradio.com, and also on Flyer Media Productions Channel 181, YouTube, and the Q. As the Flyers in their home jerseys, the whites, and the Cardinals in the reds, if you're watching on TV. Picked up here by Rexted. It'll be intercepted by Doherty. Doherty gets it to Westland. A quick shot taken there. Knocked down in front. Another shot towards the net minor. This time Pakula. It does reach, and he makes his first save of the game. Flyers play it out to center ice. Landon Johnson tries to bring it across the blue line. Unsuccessful there. Back the other way comes Caleb Strong. Strong will put on the brakes at the right circle. Passes over to Westland. His backhand attempt towards the net is on net. Kind of at a tough angle. Easy save there for Pakula. And it's played back down into the Cardinal zone. Moline is to my right and Pakula to my left, as the Flyers are going left to right on your FM dial. Picked up here now by Wasepka. In the corner now, gives it to Pesta. Back now to Wasepka. Wasepka overskates it, and that is Hubbard with it. Had it for a short time. Now Pesta has it back on his stick in the corner. Taken away there by Reese Hubbard. Hubbard now is hit there by Pesta. Play continues on. Back to the point. Held in here by Revering. Revering now gets it down low there to Wasepka on the boards. Wasepka picks up the left circle. Tough angle shot. Glove save made by Pakula. And he will hold on with 15:33 to go in the first. No score.
Line chart tonight for the Little Falls Flyers. Devin Young centers Mario Philippi and Jake Capan. Ben Sawada is the second line center. Andrew Murat on the left. Ethan Blue on the right. Sam Himley and Tate Fink will probably both center line 3 at some point this evening. Sia McQuillan on the left. Gabe Hirsch on the right.
Berkland can't win the draw as it was Himley that wins it. Flyers can't clear the zone, however, as Wachowski takes a shot from the left point, goes into the corner. Himley had it for a short time, and actually then one of the Flyers, that was Hubbard, ran into the official not once but twice. Couldn't get to the puck. Now he does get to the puck. Plays it over to Jennings. Little tip there by McQuillan, and back to Jennings. He'll play it out to center ice, and then a high hit there by Berkland on Jennings. Going back now to pick up the loose puck at center ice. This is McQuillan. Brought across the line there by, that was actually Himley, and then brought out to center. Then Stender will send it back in. Now here's a pass that will be a icing, or was it a offside? Offside is what the call is. As the Flyers were in on the play, and we'll get a whistle and a stoppage of play with 14:54 to go in the first. No score.
Ben Doherty centers Caleb Strong and Jack Westland on the Alexandria Cardinals first line. Zach Wasepka center's line two. Derek Pesta on the left, Derek Dropic on the right. Shane Berkland's the third line center. Jacob Stender, the freshman, on the left. Ben Jensen on the right.
Draw is won here by the Cardinals once again. They'll try to keep it in. It'll be played up to the line and out to center ice here now by Philippi. Mario comes across the line, fires a shot there, that off the blocker there of Jackson Boleen. It goes into the safety netting, and we'll get a face-off down in the Cardinal zone.
Last night in Alexandria's 6-3 win over the Fergus Falls Otters, the Otters did not have starting goaltender Drew Looning. He was out with the flu. So, and of course Alexandria didn't have Jack Westland because of the game misconduct against Bemidji. So Alexandria's first line last night had Doherty, Strong, and Stender. Now that Westland's back, he's up on line one. Stender drops down to line three.
Here's Doherty moving in. Save is made by Pakula after you got a great feed there from Doherty. And then Westland moved in. Nice little move around the defense. And the save was made by the netminder Justin Pakula. And Justin so far playing very well here in the opening couple of minutes of this one. Back the other way comes Capan. Quick shot, and that one just maybe glazed the side of the post and went wide. Picked up here by Murad. Gets it down now to Sawada. And that one just bounces wide of the net. Then Sawada behind the net there, being shadowed that time on the defense by Bigger. Sawada now in the corner with it. Gives it to Murad. Murad loses it. Gets it back once again in the corner. Murad going to cycle it down there to Sawada. Overskates it that time. Picked up here by Revering. And then it'll be Pesta that plays out to center ice. Resepka picks up the loose puck at center. He'll come in the left wing side. Fire a shot, goes off a flyer stick, and goes up and out of play with 13:36 to go in the first. We are scoreless.
In Alexandria's win against the Otters last night, just 23 shots on goal for the Cardinals, 17 for the Fergus Falls Otters, but a big disadvantage for Fergus Falls when you don't have your starting goaltender named Drew Looning, and I think Alexandria took advantage of that.
I was surprised in the Sartell game that Little Falls had 32 shots. Were you?
Yes, I was.
I mean,
I did do a little research on that, and the always efficient stat girls that stand to our left during radio broadcasts have Little Falls with 24 shots on goal.
That would be more realistic, I would think. Flyers have it in their own end. Murad will play it out to center ice. This is Carlson now. Matt Carlson, the sophomore. He'll skate it up and he'll dump it into the Little Falls end, and it'll be picked up by Josh Jennings, and Jennings will flip it back out to center. Carlson dumps it back in, chasing after it. First to get there is Hubbard. Place it behind his net. Puck is taken away there by Berkland. Also in to help there is Stender now, as Jacob Stender gets a pass back to the right point there. That was Johnson with a quick shot from the circle, and getting a piece of that one was Pakula. The Flyers clear to length of the ice, and icing coming up here with 12:41 to go in the opening period. No score.
It was third line against third line. Little Falls gave up the puck in their own zone. Near that right faceoff dot was Ben Jensen. He rifled the shot from there. Pakula was able to make the save. Of course, Tuesday night in the 6-1 loss to Sartell, Pakula was relieved after 2 periods by Will Ritters.
McQuillan will play it out to center ice. Picked up here by Evan Latimer. Latimer throws it off the back, the skate there of Stender, and then the Cardinals will dump it in. First to go back is Tate Fink. Fink's going to play it over on the far side. Gives it to Johnson, whose pass is intercepted there by Stender in the right circle. Tried to center a pass back in the slot, intercepted by Landon Johnson. Played to the line, but not out. Latimer keeps it in. Low shot taken here now off the stick of Berkland, and the save is made there by the netminder Pakula. Puck to the side of the net now of Pakula. Comes out on the near side, and it'll be flipped up to the line, and out to center ice it comes. Powell will pick up the loose puck, gives it over to Jensen. Jensen will sweep it in, and he'll go off on a change. Inside of 12 minutes to go here in the first, scoreless on the scoreboard. 4-2 are the shots in favor of Alexandria. Cardinals once again down in the Flyer zone along the boards on the left wing side. Picked up here by Westland in the slot. He's being hounded. He is able to pass it over to the right side there now. That's Powell trying to center it back, and it's intercepted by Capan, and Capan will at least flip it out to neutral ice. Picked up here then by Blahowski. He'll play it back to Westland, then tipped there by Strong, but he's on the wrong side of the red line. This should be an icing call, and it is. With 11:22 to go here in the first, we are scoreless.
You've got two defensemen in tonight's game, Landon Johnson from the Little Falls Flyers and Jack Powell from the Alexandria Cardinals. Neither one of them are afraid to jump up into the play. Landon Johnson, of course, is the leading scorer for the Little Falls Flyers with 34 points. Jack Powell's fourth in Cardinals scoring with 18 points, and Powell was not afraid last night to jump up into the play against the Fergus Falls Otters.
Strong can't clear it out of the zone. This will flip up by Young. Now picked up by Capan. Right circle, fires a shot. That goes off the stick that time of Joe Bigger and over the cage. Trying to keep it in is Philippi on the far side. Intercepted. Back the other way comes Westland, right wing. Trying to pass it over, and they actually hit the back of the skate of Doherty, which carried him back out to neutral ice. Picked up here by Revering. Revering now a quick shot from the left circle. Save made there by the netminder Pakula. Looks like it was going to go wide. And then Ben Sawada plays it to the boards. He'll give it up to Hubbard. Hubbard now tries to give it back to Ben Sawada. Unable to do so on that. Flyers able to keep it in as this is Ballou having it for a short time. And then it'll be Strong. The outlet pass there. Reaching for it was Westland. He touched it, but then intercepted by the Flyers at their own blue line. Hubbard played it up to Ballou, then goes off his stick. Controlled here now by Bigger. Bigger gets it over now to Powell. Powell plays it off the boards right in front of the Cardinal bench, and it comes out to center ice. Played at the Flyer blue line this time by Hubbard. Intercepted. Back the other way now come the Cardinals. Trying to bring it across the Flyer blue line is with Sepka, and he'll just sweep it in, and he'll go off on a change. 10:05 to go here in the first. We're scoreless. Flyers play it off the boards and out to center ice. It was touched there by Ballou. Intercepted here by Berkland. Berkland goes back the other way to Dropnik. Dropnik with a quick shot there. That from the right circle on the top, and that one just whistled wide. Himley trying to play it out to center ice. He does get it out to neutral ice, just out of the reach of Carlson. Then dumped back in by Berkland, and then the Flyers and Hubbard sent it the length of the ice. And icing coming up here on Little Falls with 9:39 to go in the first. We are scoreless.
Reese Hubbard is the sophomore defenseman for the Little Falls Flyers. He wears number 29. The program tells us he's 5'7", 130 pounds. That's debatable. He has really improved. He has played significant minutes this year, and boy, especially the last couple weeks, Hubbard looks very comfortable for the Flyers.
He was even asking for another interview tonight, actually.
I heard about that.
There's a chance down low by the Cardinals. And sucking that one up, once again, is Justin Pakula. Speaking of that, intermission number one, we're going to be talking with the freshman, the lone freshman on the team, Gabe Hirsch. That'll be coming up in intermission number one for our radio listening audience.
And how did Gabe do tonight?
Gabe did well. He did well. So he was a little nervous about it, but we powered through it.
Well, Hubbard was nervous on Tuesday night, but he warmed up quickly.
He warmed up, now he just wants to rule the airwaves. 9:20 to go here in the first. No score between Little Falls and Alexandria. The Cardinals trying to play it back to the point they do. This is Revering. Tipped in front, and then getting a piece of that was Stender before it got to the netminder Pakula, who makes another save. Rexted plays it off the boards, can't get it on the stick there. McQuillan now trying to help it out as Tate, and just poked out to center by our intermission number one guest, Gabe Hirsch. Trying to bring it across the blue line there was Berkland. He's bumped off the puck, and the Flyers will carry it out to center ice. This is Landon Johnson. He'll come across the line onside. Shot goes wide of the net. Trying to pinch in on the left point there is Rexted. It goes up into the air into the corner. It'll be picked up here by Andrew Revering. Revering plays it off the end wall, gives it to Latimer. And Latimer's pass quickly up there to Berkland, over to Westland. Westland now to Revering. He'll come across the Flyer blue line. Rink ride pass there intercepted by Philippi, and then Philippi fires it off the boards, and out to center ice it comes. Caleb Strong picks up the loose puck, down to 8:18 to go in the first. Still scoreless first period here. Strong goes in the corner, bumped off the play there by Devin Young. Johnson then trying to help out there, and it's Rexted that plays it up and out to center ice. Good catch there by Powell. Otherwise, Philippi might have been off on the races back the other way towards Boline. Now to be flipped out to center ice once again by Little Falls. Cardinals dump it right back in. Bahoski once again putting it in deep. And then Rexted will throw it high off the glass out to center ice. Puck gets over the stick of Powell. Bahoski is back there. If you pick up the loose puck and sees the shadowing Mario Philippi behind him, he'll leave it off for Powell. Powell comes up on the right wing side. Comes across the blue line. Powell still with it. Right circle. Now goes to the end wall. Paul still with it on the left side now. Back to the point, and he couldn't hit Westland as it was a puck that was just kind of floating right above the ice. Westland couldn't settle it down, and Boline goes back to play it.
Plays it around the boards. Westland now has it in front of his own bench. Westland will pick up the puck. He'll move over to the right wing side. Still in his zone. Being shadowed there by Murad. Puck comes out to center ice. Touched there briefly, at least, there by Wasepka. Then intercepted by the Flyers. Played back out once again by Bigger. And icing coming up here on Alexandria with 7:07 to go here in the first. We are scoreless.
Bigger tried to catch Dropic through the neutral zone. Dropic couldn't get his stick on it. Alexandria is called for icing. The third line for the Alexandria Cardinals is going to be a little bit of a matchup issue for the Little Falls Flyers. You take a player the caliber of Stender, and they've got him kind of hidden down on line 3.
There's a shot and a score! And it was a score by Mason Dempsey. It was a knuckleball, and Mason has his first goal of his career.
It was the ultimate butterfly, floating, fluttering to the Alexandria Cardinal net. Moline was confused, couldn't get his depth perception on that puck, and it eventually ends up in the back of the Cardinal net.
Dempsey should get credit for the goal, and he has his first of his career.
17, Mason Dempsey. Assist to number 24, Ben Sawada. Time to goal, 9.
There you go, Sawada back in the lineup. He's got an assist, and the Flyers have a 1-0 lead. So Sawada passing it back after winning the faceoff, gets it back to Dempsey, and as Jamie mentioned, it just kind of fluttered in the air. I was seeing it going, as I'm watching it, I'm seeing it in slow motion, like, okay, no problem here. Balloon's just going to come over and knock it down, but he missed it completely, and Little Falls has jumped out to a 1-0 lead. 6:20 to go here in the first. Powell back in his own end, plays it back to Carlson. They'll play it off the end wall. Carlson then gets it back to Powell, who puts it up to center ice. Briefly touched there at center ice, that time by Dropic, and then the Carlson will fire it in for the Cardinals. Back to get it first is Johnson. Johnson gives it to Hubbard. Outlet pass to McQuillan. Pass over the right side now to Hirsch. Gabe Hirsch will come across the line and it's swept away and back out to center. Hubbard picks it back up. There's Young. He got hit right away at the Cardinal blue line there by Berkland, and Berkland will fire it down into the Flyer zone. Hubbard will leave it back now for Jennings. Jennings will skate away, though, from the would-be check there of Jensen. Jennings now gets it over to his defensive partner, Hubbard, out to center. Picked up by Capan. Here comes Capan. A little low shot there. That hit traffic, actually, as it hit Powell's stick and caroms off into the corner. Powell has it behind his own net now. Pass out to Stender, right side to Westland. Westland will bring it across the Flyer blue line. Move back to Stender now, trying to move in. He goes behind the net, then he's bumped off the play there by Young for the Flyers. Down to 5:10 to go here in the first. Little Falls leads by a score of 1-0 on the first career goal by Mason Dempsey. Quick little tip in front there that time by Doherty, and that one just got a piece of it, was Pakula, and it goes wide. Out to center ice it comes. And Doherty comes across the line. Leaves it for Strong, and pass there to try to get over to Westland. Intercepted here by Jennings. He stepped up on the play. Jennings now comes into the Cardinal zone. Jennings goes to the end wall. Had the puck taken away there by Revering. And Revering will now play it over to Strong. Strong brings it out to center ice, and it's knocked down here by Tate. And Tate, Fink will dump it in to the Cardinal zone once again. 4:28 to go here in the first. Little Falls 1, Alexandria 0. Loose puck picked up at the Flyer blue line by Johnson. Outlet pass caught there by Ballou on the left wing side. Gets it across the Cardinal line, and the Cardinals play it back out to neutral ice. Fanning on the attempt that time was Rexted. Now a potential 2-on-1 beginning. Here's a quick shot taken that time by Zach Wasepka. Save made there by Pakula. Puck is on the side of the net. Trying to make that the side of the wall on the right wing side. Controlled here now by Landon Johnson. Behind his own net, he'll give it off to Murad. Murad picks up the loose puck. Pass too far to reach there for Tate Fink. And it'll be Powell back at his own end. 3:45 to go here in the first. Little Falls leading 1-0 on the Mason Dempsey goal. Coming across the blue line now with the Cardinals, but they'll say, hold on, something's happening here. Is it an offside or a penalty?
I think it was just offsides at the Little Falls blue line.
It looks like the one linesman was kind of sucked into the play, so he couldn't make the call, where the official on this side made the call and said it was an offside call.
Well, you talk about little things during the game, and little things sometimes come down to face-off. And Ben Sawada won that face-off, got it back to Dempsey. Dempsey got enough on it to get it by Boleen, and that's why Little Falls has a 1-0 lead. Nice job by Sawada to win an offensive zone face-off.
Ben Sawada had 3 games in 1 period, and he had 9 points. So basically he was averaging a point a period, and he comes back and he's already got a point this period. That's how vital having him back in the lineup is. Stender now coming into the right wing side, trying to kick it back there, and then one of the Flyers, that being McQuillan, goes into the side of the net and dislodges it there, and we'll have a whistle and a stoppage of play with 3:07 to go here in the first. Little Falls leading 1-0.
Good centers are valuable commodities.
Absolutely.
And Ben Sawada is a good center for the Little Falls Flyers.
So great to have him back in the lineup and already producing on the first goal here of the game.
And the Flyers come with that first line of Devin Young, Mario Philippi, and Jake Capan.
As Doherty, Strong, and Westland out there for the Cardinals.
So it appears that Kuchar wants his first line out against the Cardinals' first line.
Here's Strong back to Doherty, and Doherty had a golden opportunity there at the low circle on the left side, and he just kind of whiffed on it and shot it over the net. I think he wants that one back. That puck might have been bouncing on edge a little bit. If that puck was settled down, he had that earmarked for the upper corner. Here's Strong once again coming across the line, gives it back to Doherty. Doherty will play it in the corner. All that's back there, though, are Flyers, and this is Jennings. Jennings outlet pass touched there by Capan, but that's going to be icing. Well, they waved it off.
But Capan was on the Flyers side of the red line.
Yeah, that should have been an icing call, which was missed that time, but this will be an icing call against the Cardinals, and I don't think Ian Resch is too happy about that missed call there, as he has a little disgust in his mouth right now with 2:18 to go in the first and a 1-0 lead for Little Falls.
Shots favor the Alexandria Cardinals 7-3. An offensive zone faceoff for the Little Falls Flyers with their third line, centered by Tate Fink.
There's a fluttering puck towards the netminder Boleen. That's how the Flyers scored the last time, and this time it was a bouncing on the ground, kind of like a little dribble out to second base, and an easy save for Boleen. He makes that save and holds on.
And actually, it's not the Flyers' third line. It's Tate Fink centering Ballou and Murad.
And Murad now with the puck.
That's the Sawada's spot.
Played back in the corner. And, you know, the one thing, though, you might see is with Ben, he's not 100% in the sense of using air and being out there in the exercise thing. He might be taking some breaks like that every so often. And it's great you got a couple extra centers now out there, especially with Himley and Tate, as they've been your 2 and 3 centers a lot when you've had Sawada out. So now you have like 4 centers out there rather than 3. Flyers will dump it in. They'll chase after it. Going back to pick it up first is Carlson. Carlson will try to play it out to center. Stender trying to help it out too, and it is out to neutral. Then it's Hirsch that dumps it in, and actually went off Himley. That should have been a whistle and an offside. They didn't call that either. And it'll be played back into the Flyer line. Jennings trying to get it over to Himley. Himley's going to go track it down. He's going to leave it off now for Hubbard, who gets into the Alexandria line and got bumped pretty good there on the far side. Himley now able to hold it in the zone briefly, and then play back out to center ice. Hubbard dumps it in, and it's gloved down by Powell with less than a minute to go here in the first. Here comes Powell. Center to pass across, and Stender just behind one of the players there, Young. But Devin Young does a nice job of getting in front of it, knocking it down, and playing it back out to center. Back the other way once again now. Flyers are getting a little disorganized here on defense. They got to be careful here as we're down to the final 35 seconds of this one, and Revering not able to keep it in. But we played back out to center ice. Latimer has it now on the far side. He gets his pass intercepted. Here's Capan with a shot, and he was trying to go low side that time on the glove, and getting the blocker out there in time, the pad. That time was the netminder, Boleen. 17 seconds left to go here in the first period. Just coming across the line, Berkland, it was touched there. They'll wave it off. Back the other way now come the Flyers. 7 seconds left. Capan now comes across the blue line, lost the puck there, and looks like we're going to go to the first period with the Flyers leading by a score of 1-0.
First period goal, only goal of the first period came from Mason Dempsey. His first varsity goal, that was at 9:57. As far as I'm concerned, the most impressive player in the first period was defenseman Jack Powell from the Alexandria Cardinals. He is not afraid to jump up into the offensive end of the ice. He made a number of rushes from the Cardinal zone, the neutral zone, into the offensive end, trying to make something happen. That's going to be a matchup problem for Little Falls, I'm afraid, going forward in periods 2 and 3. And also the fact that you got someone with the talent of Jacob Stender on the Cardinals' third line, that puts a lot of pressure on Little Falls' third line. The Flyers' third line must play well when Alexandria's third line is on the ice, because someone like Stender has the offensive ability to put the puck in the net.
All right, one period is complete for our radio listening audience. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will talk with Gabe Hirsch and another, once again, Flyer interview coming up in just a matter of moments. We'll do it after this 2-minute timeout. You listen to Flyer Hockey on Q92 and FallsRadio.com. And for our viewing audience on channel 181, along with the YouTube and the Q, welcome back here to the Exchange Arena. James Hershey along with Jamie Pettit. Period number 1 is in the books, Jamie. 7-5 are the shots on the board in favor of the Cardinals, but the one shot so far wasn't the heaviest of shots. It was pretty much a weak shot, but it went by the netminder Boleyn.
No one ever said it had to be pretty, as long as it finds its way into the back of the net, and the Flyers were rewarded for winning an offensive zone faceoff, and Dempsey just kind of chopped one towards the net, and Boleyn had trouble seeing it. It got by him, and the only goal in the first period belongs to the Little Falls Flyers, and on home ice tonight, Little Falls takes that 1-0 lead into the first period intermission.
All right, we're going to take a short break on TV, and we'll be back in roughly about 8 minutes with more audio. You'll see some visual right now, but after one period of play, our score, it is Little Falls 1, the Alexandria Cardinals 0. for being on our airwaves.
He did a great job, and we gathered a pretty important nugget of information from that interview. That his mother, Missy, makes excellent chicken Alfredo. Next time I see Missy, I guarantee I'm going to ask for a sample.
Absolutely.
It's never dull when Missy's around.
I was going to say, maybe we could have a little pregame meal, you know, for the guys that are doing the normal broadcasting, like on Fox or, you know, any of the major networks. They have a little room, you know, where they go and they eat, and then they come out, and then, you know, they do their game, and then they go back and have maybe little refreshments, you know. Maybe we could have that happen.
I think that sounds like a good idea. Normally, you know, I'm a little more reserved, a little shy, not necessarily going to ask something like that, but of Missy, I'm not afraid to ask her for something.
You just asked it right now on TV, on radio, on the internet.
So I
everything.
appreciate Gabe bringing that up in his interview, that his mother's a good cook.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a look at our stats, brought to you by Schlenner, Wenner & Company. Of course, they've been serving the area since 1964, have offices in Little Falls, Albany, St. Cloud, Monticello, and Maple Lake. Our first period summary, here's Jamie Pettit.
The Alexandria Cardinals are 12-8-1. The Little Falls Flyers are 10-8-3. And it's the Little Falls Flyers leading the Alexandria Cardinals 1-0 after one period of play. Only goal in the first period at 9:57 from the stick of Mason Dempsey. Mason Dempsey's first varsity goal, single assist, Ben Sawada. Dempsey from Sawada, 9:57 of the first, and the Little Falls Flyers have a 1-0 lead. Shots on goal in period 1, 7 for the Alexandria Cardinals, 5 for the Little Falls Flyers. Justin Pakula, senior goaltender for Little Falls, was 7 of 7. Jackson Boleen, senior goaltender for the Alexandria Cardinals, was 4 of 5. No penalties to report on in period 1. It's Little Falls 1, Alexandria 0 after 1.
The Alexandria Cardinals are out on the ice, and they trail by, as you mentioned, a score of 1-0. I've done some looking at stats and stuff, and when the Flyers score first this year, they're 6-5-2. So, have a better win-loss record than normal, but obviously it's not as impressive as you would think it is a lot of times. But this second period normally is the period where we're really going to find out about this Flyer team, and also for Alexandria, because they're both pretty good in this period.
Little Falls has outscored their opponents 31-20 in period 2.
So the Flyers come out. Now, obviously, we saw Tate Fink in the center position for Ben Sawada. We'll have to see and check on Ben and see where he's at. Of course, he got an assist in our game in the first period here. Checking out as they're stretching around here. I don't see him out there right now. Do you?
No, I don't. I'm going to ask the stat girls.
You can do that. So while Jamie's doing that, both of the goaltenders have switched ends. Justin McCula now is to our right, and to our left is Moline. And the bewildered look on your face means
he's out, and I don't think he's coming back.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. I've been told, I think I know what it is, but I don't want to speculate. He's not on the bench, and I don't think he's coming back.
All right, well, we'll probably get an update on him later on in the postgame show with head coach Tony Kuchar. So Ben Sawada out of the lineup as of now. Powell with a quick shot. That one goes wide of the net. Flyers with a 1-0 lead as we start the second period. Behind the net here, taken by Landon Johnson, intercepted by Westland, paid back to Powell, and that ricocheted and just went wide of the net. Played in at the left point, still there by Doherty, then tipped to Strong. Strong now being held up there a little bit by Rexted. Play continues on. Rexted and Strong along the boards here on the near side. Some sticks flying around between Doherty and Landon Johnson as they're jostling with it. Now Doherty had it on his tape briefly. Tries to get it back to Strong. Now Doherty has it once again to the corner, and then Landon Johnson bumps Doherty. And we have a penalty coming here.
Just a minute into the period.
There's going to be a hooking call coming. And let's see who's going to go to the box here. They have not opened the box for either team yet.
It's going to be a Little Falls Flyer penalty. It looks like Rexted.
Rexted will go to the box here. 2 minutes for the hook, and our first penalty of the game for either team.
And Alexandria has scored 16 power play goals this season, leading the way 5 for the defenseman Andrew Revering.
Look at that power play for the Cardinals. They're 24.2%. Carlson with a shot, save made. Rebound is in the blue paint and covered up by the netminder Pakula as he holds on. 16 of 66 out of the Cardinals. On the other side, the number's pretty good on the penalty kill for the Flyers, 86.4%. They have killed off 51 of 59, and they also have 4 shorthanded goals to show for it.
This is definitely the Cardinals' second power play unit. We'll see how long it takes before power play unit number 1 comes onto the ice.
Semka to Carlson to Latimer. Quick shot taken there. That goes off the side of the net. And it'll be intercepted here like a pancake, cleared out of the zone. Latimer keeps it in. Left circle. Quick shot save made there by the netminder Pakula. Picked back up once again here by Dropic. Gets it over to Latimer. Back to Dropic now. Dropic's pass over to Latimer. Latimer waiting. Still now pass to the left side. Quick shot. Save made there. Rebound was on the doorstep there. Was Pesta, but he couldn't get the handle of it. If Pesta gets that on his forehand, he might have put that in. Held in by Carlson once again to Sepka. Now gets it over to Latimer. Well, one thing, if the Cardinals keep it in the zone this whole time, they're never going to get their first power play unit out there. They have to get it out of the zone to make that happen. Quick shot on net, save made there by Pakula. And this will go into the Cardinal bench. Heads up as it looks like it hit Ben Jensen. Luckily, he's a player and he's got a helmet.
The Cardinal coaching staff was scrambling. John Cullen, Ian Resch, Bruce Hanstead. It looked like it was headed towards Ian Resch, and one of the players got in the way just in time.
14:53 to go here in the second. 1-0 Little Falls leads. Still 50 seconds on the power play. Now that first line is out there. There's a shot by Doherty. Clanks that one off the side of the net. Now it's Strong with it on the right wing side, right circle. Plays it in the corner now to Doherty, who fills in now the right circle. Walks across. Quick shot. That one just missed. Not by much. Powell now holds it at the left point. Powell moves to the high slot. Goes to the right wing side. Now this is Doherty. Back to the top of the slot this time. That was Revering. Back to Doherty. He's got a shooting room. And a save made there by Pakula. And he sucks it up for no rebound with 22 seconds left to go on the hooking call to Rexted.
Little Falls will be tested on this penalty kill. You've got Doherty, Westland, and Strong up front, along with Powell and Revering defensively. 5 of their best.
Revering now once again gets it to Strong. Back to Doherty, back to Strong, back down to Doherty. Try to sneak it in on the side of the net. Getting a piece of that one was Pakula. Down to 7 seconds left, and it comes out to center ice and all the way down, and this will kill the rest of the penalty. 14 minutes to go. 0 for 1 on the power play out of the Cardinals. They play it out to center ice now. This is Strong picking it up. Fink gets into the play, gives it up back to Strong. Strong comes across the line, has Doherty. Doherty catches it. Nice save there by Pakula as he read that all along as he slid over and made the save. Played to the line, not out yet here, and still now to Westland coming out. And out to center ice, it's picked up here by Murat. He comes across the blue line. Quick shot on net. Boline makes the save, and it pops up and hits the ceiling. 13:30 to go here in the second. Little Falls leads 1-0. Just a reminder to listen to Flyer Hockey on Q92, which is WYRQ Little Falls, and also on fallsradio.com, and on Flyer Media Productions, channel 181, along with the Cube and YouTube. James Hershey, Jamie Pettit here tonight.
The Flyers are short one assistant coach tonight. Your neighbor Chris Dobis is home ill. We need to wish him the best. Hope he's back soon. The flu's going around.
Well, it's I guess it's gone from Brittany Lane to Mary Beth Lane now. So that's where it's at now, I guess.
Well, I hope you guys get it out of your system before it's time to put up that swimming pool.
We made a whole, all 5 of us made it through the week. Wife went to work, I was at work, girls went to school, no problems whatsoever. So I think the Hershey house is good. Here's a turnaround shot by Stender, and a nice save there by Pakula as he just got a piece of that. Wow. Once again, the Cardinals are buzzing here to start the second period. Latimer with a shot that's knocked down there by Hubbard. Back to Latimer once again. And it'll be taken away briefly there by McQuillan. In the corner, it's played by Hubbard. He'll play it around. And it'll be picked up here by Hirsch. Outfoot pass to McQuillan. McQuillan brought it across the line, and then he would have been offside, so he has to come back out. Then he throws it off the skate there of Hirsch. Picked up here by Berkland. 2-on-2 back the other way. Berkland has a man speeding through, and there it is. Stender, he shoots, he scores, and we're tied at 1.
Well, the textbook trailer as Stender came in really unattended, trailing that play. Pass came across, and Stender was able to make the deposit into the Little Falls Flyer net to tie the game at 1. Stender had all kinds of time, all kinds of space, and that equals a Cardinal goal.
Stender, assist to number 8, Derek Wilbeck, and number 25, Shane Berkland.
That's the 11th of the year for the freshman Jacob Stender. I believe we said he's Bantam eligible too, right? If we remember that.
He had a phenomenal Bantam career when he was playing at the Bantam level.
And so a 1-1 score. Shots are 16-6 in favor of the Cardinals, and now the scoreboard is tied at 1. Out to center ice with Sepka with it. He'll come across the blue line. He got hit pretty good there by Johnson, and a nice little hip check along the boards. Johnson trying to clear it out. Get some help there now from Capan. Capan over to Philippi. Philippi tried to go back to Capan, but nobody was filling in. We got a penalty coming up here. Is it going to be a holding or no contact to the head?
Well, we'll see how serious it is.
I think he said 2.
2-minute minor.
So 2-minute minor contact to the head by Derek Pesta. And with Pesta being sent to the box, that is our first chance for a Pizza Ranch power play tonight. If the Flyers score on the power play, you want to be caller number 3 at 632-2306, and you're going to win a free large pizza from the Pizza Ranch in Little Falls.
Little Falls 19 for 77, 24.7% on the power play this season.
On the penalty kill, the Cardinals 80%. They're 60 of 75. They do have 5 shorthanded goals, and that shorthanded goal specialist out there a lot of times is Doherty or Westland. See what the Flyers can do here as we're tied at 1.
Carlson doesn't have his stick. Landon Johnson took Carlson's stick and pushed it back towards the line.
Johnson now with a shot down low, picked up here now by Philippi. Back now to Johnson, and pass is intercepted here by Doherty. Doherty still trying to get rid of the puck, and then he lost it and played out to center. Unable to get that stick, though, is going to be Carlson. And going around it there is Murad. He'll leave it back now for Philippi. Quick shot. That one goes wide of the netminder, Boleen. Trying to hold it in now is Capan. Capan gets it to Jennings, and intercepted here by Revering. Throws it to Treat. It goes off him. Treat just gets it out to center. Carlson still doesn't have his stick. Now coming across the blue line with it this time, this is Murad. Murad's going to pass it now over the right side. Is picked up here by Jennings. He felt pressure there from Westland as he came off the bench. Carlson still out there without a stick. It's still like 5 on 3.5. Shot taken on net. Boleen makes the save off the stick there of Josh Jennings with 10:14 to go here in the second, and still 38 seconds to go on the Pizza Ranch power play. We're tied at 1.
Good patience by Josh Jennings. Got inside the blue line, waited, avoided Doherty, took the shot. Save was made by Boleen. Still 38 seconds on the Little Falls Flyer power play.
On the Pizza Ranch power play, the Flyer Powell just going to take it right up along the Zamboni door and just take a break there, and just he's eaten up plenty of time. He's eaten up 10 seconds just sitting there with it. Now Wachowski gets it over to Powell, and Powell's pass just misses with Sepka, but it'll go all the way down to the Flyer zone. This should kill off most of the rest of the penalty here with Sepka now on the offensive attack there. Also down there is Westland on the forecheck. Sepka takes it away. Back in attempt. Save made. Rebound once again. Another shot. Another save by Pakula. Picked up here by Westland. We mentioned he's got some shorties in his career. He'll play into the corner. Here comes Pesta out. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Played out at center ice by Little Falls. Now picked up here by Philippi. Gets around one man. Fires a shot. That one wide as he came in on the right wing side. Trying to hold it in at the left point this time is Rexted. I believe he did. Now Murad had it. Bumped off the puck there by Powell, and Murad takes it away from Powell, but then it's picked right back up here by the Cardinals. Centered back the other way. Here's Stender with a low shot. Getting a piece of that one was Pakula. Stender gets it right back. He'll play it back to Bolaski. Bolaski's shot hit traffic in front and hit one of the Flyers. That's Himley now with it. He can't clear it out of the zone. Played once again by Stender. Stender gets upended by Johnson there on the hip check. Bigger able to keep it in at the blue line of the Flyers. Bigger than it goes into the corner. That's Jensen now with it. Digging in there is Himley. Also in there is Rexstead along with Stender. And the puck finally comes off the end wall to Landon Johnson. Johnson overskates it, has to go back and get it. And it's picked up there by Jensen. Jensen now had it to Stender as they touch it. And Jensen wants to get a change here. And it'll be out to center ice. Comes Little Falls and Hershey. That gets to everyone. And it'll be icing in the stoppage of play with 8:25 to go here in the second. We are tied at 1.
Shots favor Alexandria 17-8. It was 7-5 Cardinals after 1 period of play. 10 second period shots for Alexandria, just 3 for the Little Falls Flyers. Here comes the Cardinals' first line: Doherty, Westland, and Strong. Offensive zone face-off.
Yeah, face-off to that right circle, down to the Flyers zone. Flyers got on the board first with Mason Dempsey, his first of his career of the season. That back in the first, but it's tied up here by the freshman Jacob Stender. That's where we're at 1-1. Here's Westland with a shot that fired wide as he was in the right circle. Westland then throws his man down, Hubbard in the corner. Play comes back out to center. Controlled here by Doherty. Now Revering with it. Tries to get away there from Capan. On the stick of Doherty at center ice for the Cardinals. He'll come across the Flyer line, fakes a shot, now left circle, tried to pass it inside, and it was just tipped wide there by Westland. Strong now in the corner. He's battling there with Reese Hubbard. Hubbard trying to get some leverage on him, and the puck pokes out, gets on the stick here of Jennings. His rink-wide pass is going to go all the way down the ice. Another icing coming up here. With 7:33 to go here in the second, we are tied at 1. As you mentioned, those shots favor the Cardinals. They're doubled up at 17-8.
And now with the absence of Ben Sawada, they have officially moved Tate Fink into that slot, centering the second line. Murad and Blue on the wings.
7:25 to go here. 1-1 score. Shot coming on the netminder, Boleen. He will make the save, and he will hold on, and a faceoff will be coming up once again. And a faceoff will be down in the Flyer, the Cardinals zone. 7:20 to go here in the second. And we're tied at 1. Played up to the line. Out to center ice it comes. Now across the blue line. This is Pesta with a tough little shot there. And it goes off the side of the net. The net has come off the magnet here for a second. I think Pakula has done the job and put it back on. Probably a whistle should have been blown there. They don't. Delayed offside coming here for the Flyers. They have to touch up. They haven't yet. And now we'll get a whistle. No, there'll actually be a penalty called here.
Elbowing call.
And it'll be called on the Cardinals as they touch the puck.
Time of the penalty, 10:06.
What was that penalty at?
Period 2. Might have happened in that left wing corner, Cardinals zone. That's the area we have a difficult time seeing from the press box.
Dropik's going to the box. 2 minutes for an elbow, and another Pizza Ranch power play coming up here as the Flyers 0 for 1 in the power play. If the Flyers are able to score a power play goal, you could win some pizza from our friends at the Pizza Ranch. You call number 3 at 632-2306 if the Flyers score. There's Jennings now. Shot on net. Saved by Boleen as he gobbled that one up. And another faceoff coming up down in the Cardinal zone. 1:53 to go here on the penalty time. 6:46 to go in the second. We're tied at 1.
This is the first power play unit for the Little Falls Flyers. Murad, Capan, Philippi. Defensively, Johnson and Jennings.
Rod wins the draw. Back to Jennings. Jennings waiting. Circles around Doherty. Doherty slashing the lumber there against Jennings. On the end wall, it was touched there by Philippi, taken away by the Cardinals, and Westland will send it down the length of the ice. Pakula will go back. He'll leave it there for Josh Jennings. Doherty in there to interfere a little bit. Now picked up here by Johnson. Back to Jennings. Jennings now will pass it up on the right side to Capan. Capan overskates it a bit. Now we'll regroup it. Brings it across the line. Gives it on the tape there for Philippi, then lost it. Now controlled here by the Cardinals, and here's Powell in a breakaway. Moving in, goes to the forehand to the backhand, he shoots, he scores. Short-handed goal, and the Cardinals and Jack Powell have made it now a 2-1 lead. Powell was able to fight his way through 3 Little Falls Flyers, went down on a breakaway, was able to deke it,
past Bakula into the back of the net, and Alexandria with a shorthanded goal leads 2-1.
That's the first shorthanded goal the Flyers have given up this year.
Not a good time for that.
Number 21, Jack Powell. Unassisted.
Unassisted goal by Powell makes it now 2-1 in favor of the Cardinals. Flyers still on the Pizza Ranch power play for another 50 seconds, but they trail by a goal now.
That was just pure effort on the part of Jack Powell.
Played back out all the way down to the Flyer zone. Hubbard now, he'll pass it off here to Rexted. Rexted will move it ahead. Rexted will dump it in. They'll chase after the puck. In the corner, it's played by Ballou. Powell has it back. He just scored the go-ahead goal for the Cardinals, which trailed 1-0, now lead 2-1. Here's a 2-on-2 on a shorthanded attempt. This is Berkland with a shot. Save made there by Bakula. And he holds on with 5:14 to go in the second. Still 21 seconds to remain on the Flyer power play.
Flyers a little unsettled with the man advantage tonight. Don't seem to be real comfortable, but give the Alexandria Cardinals credit. They are ultra aggressive on the penalty kill.
Face-off coming up down in the Flyer zone to the left of the netminder, Bakula. Trying to win that draw as Little Falls. They'll poke it out to center. Can't hang on to it, and Revering puts it back in. Moran now slides it over to Jennings, who was nearly tipped there by Jensen. This will kill off pretty much the rest of the penalty for the Cardinals as we're down to the final 2 seconds. Drop it comes out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5. Trying to drop past that time was Moran. It's intercepted by Jensen. Back the other way now coming in. This is Stender with a shot, and he's sent down off the side of the net. The net is off the magnet, so they need to blow the whistle. They still haven't blown the whistle yet. Why they're not blowing the whistle? And then they blow it when it's a 2-on-1 the other way. Go figure. Why wouldn't they have blown the whistle? And head coach Tony Kuchar right now, I don't think is very happy with what happened there. Then a 2-on-1 went the other way, and they blow the whistle.
Sometimes you'll just see the official just set the net back in place.
I don't understand why they did that.
It was clearly off.
Once the play came out of the zone right away, they should have just blown it dead and said, hey, we got to put it back on.
The referee was near the net. I thought he was just going to put it back in place and play was going to continue.
4:25 to go here in the second. And a 2-1 lead for the Cardinals. Puck out at center ice now. Wojcicki will dump it in. Puck played around the boards. Westland trying to put a hit on Johnson there. Held up there just briefly was Young. Now he gets it, and he just got slashed right below us.
A lot of stick work through the neutral zone.
Wojcicki now plays it out to center ice. He'll dump it. He'll chase after it. Behind the net, picked up here by Landon Johnson. Inside of 4 minutes to go here in the second. Alexandria 2, Little Falls 1. Wojcicki losing the puck briefly there to Ballou, and then Wojcicki gets it back, plays it out to center ice. Moved ahead there by Dropic. Puck behind the net now, played by Pakula, gives it off to Johnson. Pass outlet now to Ballou. Ballou comes across the blue line, tries to get a pass down low. It goes off the boards, and then it is covered up by the netminder, Moline, and he will hold on with 3:22 to go here in the second. 2-1 Cardinals lead.
Well, Murad was trying to demonstrate his baseball skills as that puck came off the end glass, and Murad just tried a little safety bunt towards the net. Almost pulled it off.
3:15 to go here in the second. And a one-goal lead for the Cardinals, which trailed 1-0 after the first. They've tallied 2 here in the second. They got an even strength goal and a shorthanded goal to take the 2-1 lead. Latimer now at center ice. They get across the line and loses the puck to Jennings, who flips it back out to center. Revering picks up the loose puck. They leave it for Pesta, intercepted there by Himley. It's at neutral ice. Hubbard going to go back to help, and it'll be Hirsch that plays it up to the line. Berkland intercepts, and then Hubbard, or check that, that's Hirsch that took it away briefly from Berkland. Now Berkland back the other way. Berkland comes across the line. Left circle, Berkland down in the corner, lost it to Himley. on the end wall played here by Jennings. He'll sweep it over to the side, intercepted by Latimer at the right circle. Played by Jensen now in the corner to Stender. Down to 2:19 to go here in the second. And the Cardinals still leading 2-1. Revering with a shot, hit traffic in front, actually hit Hubbard. Hubbard now got messed up a little bit there. They was able to clear it out to center. Got it over at least to McQuillan. McQuillan will dump it in. They'll chase after it. Revering back there first. Plays it now on the stick that is, of Latimer. Puck intercepted at the blue line by Young. Now it's McQuillan with a shot. That threw the blue paint in wide. Now a shot from the right side, the right circle that time by Capan. That goes off the side of the goal. And the Cardinals will play it back out to center ice. Stender will dump it in. And they'll go off on a change. 1:35 to go here in period number 2. Outlet pass touched there by Capan, but picked up right away by Powell, who's got the goal game winner so far, I guess you could say, if the game ended right now with that shorthanded goal, and then the puck goes up and over the glass, out of play with 1:29 to go here in the second, and a 2-1 lead for Alexandria.
Tony Kuchar's in his 25th season behind the Little Falls Flyers bench. 2 of his 3 keys to the game in his pregame interview: physical play from the Little Falls Flyers and more shots on goal than they've been getting recently. They haven't been as physical, I'm sure, as he would like.
Here's Westland coming in and just got hit at the last second there by Johnson. Otherwise, he'd have walked in. Another penalty coming up here when the Cardinals touch it. As now they're going to be they tried to get the puck there was Rexted. Finally, it's touched. And a penalty coming up here against the Cardinals. It'll be the 3rd penalty they've already had in this period. We had no penalties in the first. And Jack Powell is going to go to the... No, actually, I don't think it'll be Powell going to the box. I think it'll be Doherty going to the box.
It's an elbowing minor. And the door does open, and Ben Doherty pops in.
So Doherty in the box, 2 minutes for elbowing. Then the Pizza Ranch power play. With 1:08 to go here in the second, Flyers can try to tie this one up. Flyers score on the power play. You want to be calling number 3 at 632-2306. You win a free pizza from our friends of the Pizza Ranch in Little Falls.
Flyers 0 for 2 on the power play in this period.
Played up to the line, held in by Landon Johnson. Now over to Jennings. Jennings gets it over to Capan. Capan now, back down to Johnson. Johnson's got a cannon there, but he couldn't get it off. Johnson with it. Quick shot. Save made. Rebound in front. Score by Mario Philippi. And Eric Van Ert's going to be busy back at the radio station because we have a Pizza Ranch winner, 632-2306. And the Flyers have tied this up at 2.
Alexandria has been so aggressive on the penalty kill. They were not giving the Flyers much time and space. That shot finally got through. Boleen gave up the rebound, and there was Mario Philippi to put in that rebound to tie the game at 2.
Mario with his 9th of the year, his 21st in his career, and that's his 4th power play goal.
Number 13, Mario Philippi. On 6 to number 8, Jake Capan, and number 19, Landon Johnson.
So Capan and Johnson get the assist, the goal by Philippi, and we are tied at 2 once again. Still 25 seconds left to go. Flyers would like to at least go to the locker room with a tie score, and there's now 19 seconds left and an icing call coming up here on Little Falls.
9th goal of the season for Mario Philippi, just kind of hanging around at the side of the net. Boleen gave up the rebound, and Philippi did not give Boleen a chance to recover because it was back behind Boleen before he knew it.
Berkland wins the draw, but Revering unable to keep it in the zone. He has to go back into neutral ice. Being shadowed there by Ballou, now picked up by Powell. 10 seconds left. Powell comes across the line outside. He hit a stick there of Jennings. Karam's in the corner. Played by Johnson now as we're down to 2 seconds. And both teams will go to the locker room tied at 2. Critical power play goal for Little Falls with 44 seconds remaining in the period. Philippi's 9th. Alexandria had the territorial advantage in the second period. At times, Justin Pakula seemed like he was under siege. Pakula is 18 of 20
through 2 periods. That means his save percentage is at 90%. You can't really ask much more of Pakula. Little Falls needs to get more pucks to the net in the 3rd period, generate some more scoring chances. But we're all square 2-2 after 2.
Well, we've played 5+ periods of hockey between Little Falls and Alexandria. It is 5-5 scoring. We have not decided anything as of yet. Let's take a break on the radio. We'll come back. We'll have much more coming up. After 2 periods of play, it is Little Falls 2, Alexandria 2. Back after this timeout on fallsradio.com and Q92. Once again, we welcome you here back of our TV viewing audience. As after 2 periods of play, 2-2 is our score. Little Falls and Alexandria as they do the old chuck-a-puck.
We forgot to buy our chuck-a-pucks.
We missed that, didn't we?
We played chuck-a-puck in Fergus Falls last night, and I was terrible. Absolutely terrible. We didn't have a good angle. We didn't move close enough down to the glass, and I was pathetic last night.
Wouldn't you feel bad, though, if we bought the pucks and then we won from here on this side?
Absolutely
not.
You
would not feel bad.
No, we play chuck-a-puck in Wadena from the press box.
Okay.
There's never been a protest of any kind that I'm aware of, and I did win once, and people were thrilled for me.
Okay, well that's good. I mean, I would feel guilty.
No, you shouldn't.
If I actually did it from here.
Carmen Johnson would be more than happy to give us the prize.
Well, yeah, she wouldn't have to watch for it.
She would absolutely be thrilled if we won.
That would be great. That would be great. Flyers 2. Alexandria Cardinals 2. We'll wait for our radio audience to come back here in just a moment. But you and I have a chance to talk here briefly, and then we'll get into some of the section stuff coming up here. We'll do that for our TV audience, too, on channel 181, also on the YouTube and on the Cube, Flyer Media Productions. Once again, Mark Deal, Karen Warner, and the kids behind doing an awesome job. I know Austin Moore is in the truck right now doing a great job, and we have some other students running the cameras for this tonight. They do a phenomenal job, and it's just a great experience for these young kids, especially if they're looking for a future in this kind of job.
I explain to people what we do when we're a part of Flyer Media Productions and how much time and effort that these students and the advisors put in, and then I try to explain the complexity of that truck, that production truck that's in the old Zamboni room. I mean, it's a miniature little Fox Sports North truck that they bring into that old Zamboni room.
Absolutely. All right, we bring back our radio audience once again. Welcome back to the Exchange Arena. James Hershey along with Jamie Pettit. 2 periods are in the books. Our score is 2-2. And after the first period, the Flyers had a 1-0 lead. However, they gave up that lead with an even strength goal. And then the backbreaker for the Flyers, at least in the second period at the time, was that shorthanded goal by Jack Powell.
Well, you never want to give up one shorthanded. And Alexandria has been so aggressive with the penalty kill tonight. And give Jack Powell credit just fighting his way through 3 Flyer defenders, went in on a breakaway, made the move to get the puck past Pakula, and it gave Alexandria the 2-1 lead at that point until Little Falls was able to get the equalizer late in the period on the power play.
And that they were. Let's take a look at our stats. Our second period summary brought to you by Schlenner, Wenner & Company, the regional independent CPA firm dedicated to serving clients with professionalism and integrity since 1964. Schlenner, Wenner & Company has offices in Little Falls, Albany, St. Cloud, Monticello, and Maple Lake. And if we look at that second period summary, here's Jamie Pettit.
The Alexandria Cardinals are 12-8-1 this season. The Little Falls Flyers are 10-8-3. And it's the Alexandria Cardinals and the Little Falls Flyers tied at 2 after 2. Little Falls led 1-0 after 1. Only goal of period 1 from the stick of Mason Dempsey, his first varsity goal. But in the second, the Cardinals would tie it at 4:30. Goal credited to number 27, Jacob Stender. And for Jacob Stender, it was his 11th goal of the season. First assist, Shane Birkeland. Second assist, Derek Drapik. Stender from Birkeland and Drapik, and it tied the game at 1. Alexandria takes a 2-1 lead at the 11-minute mark of the second period. A shorthanded goal for Jack Powell. The senior defenseman nets his 7th goal of the season. It was unassisted. but the Flyers would tie it late in the third on the power play. 16-16, ninth goal of the season for Mario Philippi. First assist, Jake Capan. Second assist, Landon Johnson. Philippi from Capan and Johnson, 16-16 of the second, and the Flyers and the Cardinals went back to their respective locker rooms, knotted 2-2. Shots on goal in the second. 13 for Alexandria, 8 for the Little Falls Flyers. Through 2 periods, Alexandria has a 20-13 shots on goal advantage. Senior Justin Pakula tending net for the Little Falls Flyers tonight. In the second, 11 of 13. Through 2 periods, Pakula, 18 of 20. Jackson Boleen, senior goaltender for the Alexandria Cardinals. In period 2, he was 7 of 8. Through 2 periods, Boleen, 11 of 13. 3 penalties whistled against the Alexandria Cardinals tonight. Little Falls is 1 for 3 on the power play. Just one minor to the Little Falls Flyers. It was to Rexted early in the second, and Alexandria did not score on the power play. Little Falls 2, Alexandria 2, after 2 from the Exchange Arena in Little Falls.
And congratulations to Wayne Burns of Little Falls. He was excited because when Mario Philippi scored that power play goal, he also won some pizza from our friends at the Pizza Ranch in Little Falls. And also got a note here from Eric Van Ark back in our studios that he said Ben Sawada's grandparents are listening online down in Galveston, Texas tonight. So we want to say hi to them. And unfortunately, Ben is out of the lineup at this time, and we are not exactly sure what's going on, but it doesn't look like Ben will probably play the rest of the night, but hopefully we'll find out more about him coming up here in the post-game show. It's a light schedule around the state of Minnesota in hockey. Friday hockey isn't a big deal, I guess, tonight because there's less than 20 games going on. There is one game section-wise as Morris Benson is at home tonight. They are taking on Red Lake Falls, and after 2 periods of play, Morris Benson leading Red Lake Falls by a score of 5-0.
I did see Red Lake Falls play earlier this year. They've only got about 10 or 11 skaters and a goaltender. A real short roster for the Red Lake Falls Eagles this season.
That is a cold arena, too. We've talked about this before.
One of the colder rinks. Hallock is a cold rink. Sauk Center, as far as I'm concerned, is the coldest.
Okay. Not Long Prairie?
No, Sauk Center is colder than Long Prairie because the Sauk Center rink is built into the ground. And you know how cool basements are in the summer?
Yep.
Well, that Sauk Center rink is extremely cold in the winter.
Well, you'd think it'd be warmer in the winter then because you'd have the earth, Okay, well,
It's cold.
Okay, anyway. We'll have to ask Bob Stark. He's a science teacher.
We could check with Bob on that.
Bob, to me, it's like
some type of a written report from Bob by the time we have our next broadcast. I'm going to give Bob a homework assignment.
There you go.
A written report.
Hey, he loves giving out homework, so I'm sure he'll enjoy getting some homework too. A couple other scores to pass along. New Prague leading Delano by a score of 2-1. I said a light schedule. East Grand Forks is at Warroad tonight, and other games tonight. You have Tartan at Simley. As Northern Lakes is at International Falls, Evelyn Gilbert is at Proctor, Orono at Mount Westaga. That's a big game tonight between those two. Legacy Christian at Moose Lake area, Redwood Valley at Fairmont, Chaska at Benilde St. Margaret's. A couple finals. It was a St. Paul Highland Park 3-2 win over Mora Malacca, and it was Ely a 4-2 win over Bagley Fawston. I should remind our radio listeners and also for our television listeners, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we will have the final regular season game of girls high school hockey as Brainerd Little Falls, the Warriors, which they have about 4 or 5 girls from Little Falls, also a girl from Piers, and the rest of the team made up of the Brainerd High School. They are at home for their final game of the regular season. They will take on the Moorhead Spuds. Our pregame coverage at 12:45, face-off at 1 o'clock. That at the Essentia Sports Health Center up in Brainerd. The girls hockey team a week from tomorrow will start their playoff stretch run. And, of course, remember last year for the girls, they got all the way to the section finals against the Roseville Rams. They went almost 100 minutes of play. They lost in 4 overtimes by a score of 3-2. They're hoping to get back once again for maybe a rematch of the Roseville Rams. It looks like Roseville will be the number 1 seed, and
Brainerd Little Falls will be the number 2 seed. That seeding will come out on Monday afternoon, and those two teams most likely will be seeded 1 and 2. So if everything goes well, they will have a collision course coming up on February 16th, and I believe the game will most likely be played in Bemidji again like it was last year.
Was that at the Sanford Center?
No, it was at the community arena.
The community arena. That's by the high school.
Yep. Nice arena it is. A very nice arena.
I've not been to that rink. That rink was built long after I was out of college.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Section 6A hockey a little bit. We've been talking about that a bunch, at least on our radio broadcast, but we'll bring in our television viewers too and talk about it a little bit. Obviously, number 1 seed is St. Cloud Cathedral. We pretty much have that as a lock. Number 2, getting close to being that lock, is Sartell. And then after that, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are still up in the air. But you almost can start to say maybe Fergus Falls is probably your 6. And then 7, 8, 9, and 10 are pretty much in a lock for the most part. Maybe a little bit of jockeying there. But really right now it becomes the 2, 3, 4, and 5 spots. Maybe more so the 3, 4, and 5.
Sartell would clinch the number 2 seed, as far as I'm concerned, if they beat the Fergus Falls Otters and the Alexandria Cardinals. They would be a lock for number 2. We know that the St. Cloud Cathedral Crusaders will be the number 1 seed. St. Cloud Cathedral has been to the state tournament the last 2 years. They're the 2-time defending Section 6A champions. St. Cloud Cathedral had Hermantown scared last year in the Class A semifinals, finally losing to Hermantown late in that game, and then St. Cloud Cathedral went on to win the third place trophy. That game against Hermantown, of course, was in overtime in the Class A semifinals. So St. Cloud Cathedral had a great showing at the state tournament last year. They finished 3rd. They're going to be the number 1 seed for the upcoming Section 6A playoffs, and of course the section semifinals and finals are at the MAC in St. Cloud. Sartell, they've got the kind of the path to do number 2 seed, but again, I believe they need to beat Alexandria and the Fergus Falls Otters. Alexandria has a chance to be the number 2 seed, but for that to happen, I believe that Alexandria needs to win tonight, and then on February 8th at home, they need to beat the Sartell Sabres, plus they may need Sartell to lose to Fergus Falls, because if Alexandria does beat Sartell on February 8th, the two teams would have split the regular season. Of course, does the second game have a little more importance than the first game? Some people will tell you it does. Others will say, well, they did split during the regular season. So if they would split during the regular season, right now it appears that Sartell's probably got the advantage with common opponents. But if they lose to Fergus Falls, then Alexandria would have a much better argument. So that gets us to that 3, 4, 5, 6 slot. And River Lakes is in good position right now because of their win over the Little Falls Flyers, and they've split with the Fergus Falls Otters. Little Falls, if they are going to entertain thoughts of home ice for the quarterfinals of the Section 6A playoffs, they need to find a way to win tonight.
That they do, and they have 17 minutes, hopefully, to do that and get a win tonight.
17 minutes, and it didn't look good. We got halfway through that second period. Alexandria territorial advantage. Then they get the shorthanded goal from Jack Powell to take the 2-1 lead. But the power play came through for Little Falls. A power play goal at 16-16. 9th goal of the season for Mario Philippi. And for the Little Falls Flyers, they had that stretch where they weren't very proficient with the power play. But now, in the last 5 games, the last 5 games, they've scored 6 on the power play.
Score update for you if you're a Minnesota Wild fan. They're taking on the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and let's see here. I think they're in the second period, 4-1. The Wild leading the Golden Knights right now in the second. And don't forget, we have more high school hockey coverage coming up here in Flyer Media Production next week. So for our viewing audience and our radio audience, we invite you to come and join us next Thursday, as it'll be Little Falls taking on Sauk Rapids Rice here at the Exchange Arena. All right, the puck is down. We're underway with the third period. We are tied at 2. It's 3-3 tie in the opening game between these two teams on November 30th, and right now it's 2-2. We still haven't decided who's going to win yet, as this one goes off the ceiling and we get a face-off just outside the Cardinal blue line. Is now Jackson Bolinas to our right and Justin Bakula to our left for our radio audience.
And here comes the Little Falls Flyers second line. Tate Fink, Ethan Ballou, and Andrew Murad matched up against the Cardinals second line centered by Zach Wysepka.
Played out to center ice there by Dropic. Going back to pick up the loose puck will be Tate. Fink will pick up that puck. He'll give it now off to Johnson, who comes back into the zone. Gets it on the tape here this time with Rexted. He'll come across the blue line. Shot on net. Save there by Boline. Boline a little shaky on that save, but he's able to make it and hold on.
Well, good job by Rexted to motor into the offensive zone. Got to the right face-off circle. Took a shot from there, and Boline had to squeeze the pads just in time to make that save.
16-12 to go here in the third. We're tied at 2. Himley going to try to win the draw here from Birkeland, and he does. Trying to get it back to Hubbard. Hubbard trying to keep it in the zone. Puck goes along the wall here, and it's played out to center ice by Revering. Picked up by Jennings. Moves it ahead. Intercepted by Latimer. And it'll be shot in by Jensen. Pakula goes back. He'll leave it there for Jennings. Jennings has it on the end wall. Also trying to help out there was Hubbard. Played with the glove, but they let that one continue. So it could have been maybe a hand pass in the offensive zone. Now it's bottled up in the corner. They're trying to dig it out of there, and it actually squirts out to Birkeland. He plays it back to the line, and then Revering can't keep it in as they got a pass from Latimer. Latimer picks up the loose puck now, passes it up here to Jensen. Jensen comes across the line, gives it there to Birkeland. His shot goes wide and into the corner. 15-20 to go here in the third. We're tied at 2. Shots are 20-14 in favor of the Cardinals. Powell now, he's got a goal tonight, is shorthanded. He'll move into the right circle. Quick shot on net. And Pakula will make the save and will hold on for his 19th save of the game.
Powell was near the Little Falls Flyers player bench, was able to scoot over along the right wing boards, got to the right of the faceoff circle, fired the shot from there, and Pakula had to make the save. Powell has been extremely active on both ends of the ice tonight for the Alexandria Cardinals.
Treat wins the draw, got it back to Powell, but then right on Powell that time was Philippi, so Powell has to play it aside. And it's still controlled here by the Cardinals. Westland moves around Dempsey, passes out in the slot, intercepted there by Landon Johnson for the Flyers. Johnson will skate it out to his own center ice now. Johnson now will dump it in. They'll chase after it. And first to go back will be Powell to pick it up off the end wall. He's bumped off the puck there briefly by Capan. Control here now and flipped up and just missed going off the ceiling that time. Strong got it into the zone. Touched there by Dempsey, then a pass there by Westland back to Strong. Couldn't handle it. Played up to the line, not out by Fink yet. Now controlled here by Capan. He'll play it off the glass and out to center ice. Picked back up here by Revering. Revering got it over to Westland. Westland tips it in. Wysepka now with it in the right circle. Lost it there. Trying to carry it out to center is Tate Fink, and Fink does have it at center ice. He gets it across the line, then Revering knocks it down. Going back to help out that time, that's Pesta with it. Pesta trying to clear it out of the zone, but Murad does a nice job of keeping it in deeper. Now coming over to his Bigger to play it away from Murad, and Pesta will skate back the other way with it. He'll come across the blue line, trying to feed it in the slot that time with Sepka, and one of the Cardinals ends up in the net. That is Dropic. And a faceoff will come up down in the Flyer zone, I believe. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, if they say that he was pushed in or if they say he's out of the zone. It looks like it's going to stay in the zone.
That net was way off, and I looked down to my left, and there's Derek Dropic all tangled up in the netting. And Justin Pakula's area there.
Pakula went fishing. Pulled out Dropic. 13:43 to go here in the third. We're tied at 2. Little Falls carries it out to center. McQuillan gets it just across the blue line, then had it tipped away. Revering sends it back the other way. Pass too far for Stender. Stender going to race after it there with Hubbard. Hubbard taking it to the boards. Oh, a big hit there that time. Wow, and a penalty coming up here. They're going to take Himley.
Himley. It was check along the end boards.
I'm really surprised, though, the official all the way out made that call rather than the guy that was down below, but I guess he said it's a rough.
Well, they felt he got his hands up a little high when he applied that check. Time of the penalty, 3:35 in the third.
Birkeland is not doing too well. He comes over the bench and unhooks the helmet. And He's hurting right now. They're going to probably have to get Trent over here to take a look at him.
Cardinal power play, second of the night. They're 0 for 1.
Pizza Ranch power play, not this time. Cardinals are on the power play. It worked for the Flyers on the power play last time to tie it. Then the Cardinals now maybe take the lead. Revering with a shot, hit traffic in front, never reached the net. Powell now has it the left side, left circle. Powell gets it back to Revering. Revering to the right side now to Doherty. Doherty down low here to Strong. Walks out in front. The puck goes off of his stick. And able to cover up is the netminder Pakula with 1:24 to go here on the penalty time to Himley.
Well, Strong's a left-handed shot, was able to creep away from those end boards, tried to tuck it past the pads of Justin Pakula. Really didn't get much resistance as he made his way to the net, and Pakula was able to eventually make that save.
Berkland getting attended here by trainer Trent. There, I got it
the
right.
trainer.
Yeah, I'll get it out sometime. And right now, Berkland's not looking pretty good. He seems like he's in a lot of pain as he's holding his head right now. And to be flipped out to center ice by Philippi and onto the netminder Boleen will make the save. Boleen gives it off there now to Powell. Powell right side gives it to Westland. Westland will come across the blue line. Westland still with it. Westland now goes behind the netminder Pakula. Westland comes out on the left side, passes it to Powell at the left point. Gets it back to Westland now at the left circle. Westland now passes over to Revering, right side. Played now by Doherty on the right circle. Back now to the high slot to Revering. Quick shot on net. That actually hit Johnson. Knocked down, and Johnson will play it off the boards and all the way down. 29 seconds yet to go here on the power play here for the Cardinals. 11:45 to go here in the third. We're tied at 2. Pass too strong to handle that time for the Cardinals, and Doherty is played at center ice here. Just below us, here's Pestin. Now Doherty going to kick it back. Boy, they almost had too many men on the ice. Played now once again by the Cardinals. Penalty time has expired. Himley will come out. And it's back to 5-on-5 action with 11:20 to go here in the third. We're tied at 2. Cardinals will dump. They'll chase after it. Rexted back there first. Pesta, though, will slow it down in the left corner, and then it's played up and hits the safety netting. As it was Fink that sent it up, faceoff will stay inside the Flyer zone with 11:07 to go in the third, tied at 2.
Mason Dempsey and Mario Philippi have scored for the Little Falls Flyers. The Philippi goal was on the power play. Goal scorers tonight for the Alexandria Cardinals, Jacob Stender and Jack Powell.
Berkland on the bench right now. It looks like he's not coming in for a while. Here now picked up by the Flyers. This is Jennings out to center ice. Cardinals dump it back in. Glove down here by Hubbard. He plays it out to center. Jensen dumps it back in. Going back to pick up the loose puck now. This is Jennings. Jennings plays it over to McQuillan just off his tape. Out to center. Powell will send it into the far corner. Picked up by Josh Jennings once again. Plays it over to Hubbard. Back now to Jennings. 10:35 to go. This is Hirsch, and that pass nearly intercepted by Stender. Luckily, they get it out to center. Here's Himley now. He'll come across the blue line. Low shot. Glove save made there by Boleen. And then holding on is Boleen dangerously once again there. Not playing that cleanly, Jamie, but he's able to make the save.
Boleen had to hold on because it was Reese Hubbard 100 miles an hour towards the Cardinal net, and Boleen was able to maintain control of that puck and keep Hubbard away from getting his stick on that puck.
Here's an opportunity once again for the Flyers down low. That quickly thawed out. Back the other way comes Doherty. Doherty comes across the line trying to find Westland. Held in at the right point this time by Bigger. Bigger throws it into the corner. Nobody home for either team. It goes all the way around the boards. Comes out on the left wing side here. Picked up by Rexted. And it's caught in the skates of Young. Now coming over there was Kapan. And played off the glass and out to center ice. Inside of 10 minutes to go here in regulation. We're tied at 2. Pass didn't click there to Kapan, and icing coming up here on the Flyers. We'll bring it back down to the Flyer zone with 9:49 to go in the third.
Johnson had the puck near his own blue line, tried to go up ahead to Kapan. Kapan couldn't get his stick on it. Little Falls is called for icing. Second line against second line. Tate Fink now centering Little Falls' second line with the absence of Sawada. Wasepka centers line 2 for the Cardinals.
Wasepka right back to Bigger, and Bigger got a low shot and got the pad out in time. Was Pakula. Flyers play it back out to center. Here comes Moran trying to move to the right wing side. Actually slides it in. And right on the netminder, Bolin, who makes the save and holds on.
24-16. The Alexandria Cardinals have the shots on goal advantage. Offensive zone face-off for Little Falls again. Fink opposed by Wasepka.
Pesta had it, played it out to center, intercepted there by Rexted, dumps it back in. Powell now goes behind his own net. Falling down was Marad. That'll give Powell some chance now to come out to center ice. Powell tries to get around Rexted. Powell in the corner. Powell was hit pretty good there by Ballou. Pesta now digging in there along with Rexted on the end wall. Trying to come in to help out is Dropic. Wasepka passes it back to Carlson. Shot tipped and that one wide. Picked up here by Andrew Marad. 9 minutes to go here in the third. Alexandria 2, Little Falls 2. Another icing coming up here. Wow, they wave it off.
Bowen played it.
Okay, so he did play it. Played by Stender. Out to center ice now. Stender will dump. He'll chase after it. Rexted gets back to first, but Stender makes himself known back there. Stender now has it in the left circle. Stender's got a goal tonight in this one. 1 of 2. Powell's got the other. For the Flyers, Dempsey with a goal, his first in his career in the season. And also scoring is Mario Philippi to tie this one up at 2, where we're at right now. Played out at center ice, just in front of the Cardinal bench. Stender digging there with Gabe Hirsch. Also McQuillan in there, and Berkland now back on the ice for the first time. So he's been cleared to play once again. Johnson now gets it over to McQuillan. McQuillan now will fire it in.
Smart play, get it in deep.
Trying to hold in at the left point is Landon Johnson, able to do so. Comes back out to the red line. Young will play it over to Hubbard. Hubbard's pass intercepted there by Latimer at the Cardinal line. Latimer will bring it back down to the Cardinal zone. Latimer bumped off the puck, picked up here, and played out to center ice by Strong. 7:45 to go here in the third. Tied at 2. Here's a giveaway, and Doherty with a quick shot there, and I believe Pakula just got a piece of that. Here's Doherty once again. He's got Strong on the wing, but he couldn't pass it to him. A good job there by Johnson to knock it down. And then Kapan plays it out, and then we get a icing call coming up here.
A much-needed whistle for the Little Falls Flyers. They were somewhat discombobulated in their own zone. Strong was streaking towards the net, wide open, unattended. Nobody was there, but the Cardinals couldn't get the puck to him.
7:27 to go here in the third. We're tied at 2. Back to the point it comes to Powell. Low shot, that one whistled wide. Wojcicki keeps it into the left point. Plays it down to the corner now. That's Doherty. Back to Wojcicki. It hit traffic in front. Caroms to the side wall on the far side. Picked up here by Westland. He'll play it in a little deeper and then intercepted by Jennings. He floats it out. Another icing call coming up here on Little Falls with 7:02 to go here in the third. We're tied at 2.
First meeting between the two teams way back in November ended in a 3-3 tie. Alexandria had a 2-0 lead and a 3-1 lead, but Alexandria took 4 third-period penalties, and that fueled the Little Falls Flyer power play. Game went to overtime, eventually ended in a tie, but Alexandria had the overtime shot advantage 10-1.
Well, we played over 100 minutes of hockey between these two teams, and we still are tied. 5 goals apiece. 2-2 is our score tonight. Inside of 7 minutes to go. Picked up here now. This is Powell weaving his way around in the circles. Puck was knocked down there by Marad. Behind the net now. It'll be Jennings will play it off the boards. Wojcicki trying to keep it in, and Fink slides it out to center, and then Marad will dump it in, and he's off on a change. 6:20 to go. Powell now passes over to the right side. Touch here by Dropic. Dropic going to skate it up, come across the blue line, tries to weave his way around Himley. Himley will cut him off. Played in the corner now here by Johnson. Landon Johnson now sends it up ice, and will that be an icing? It will be. Even though Bigger might have had a chance to play that. 5:59 to go here. We're tied at 2.
And the faceoff's going to be deep in the Flyers zone to the right of Justin Pakula. It's going to be the Flyers' third line of Himley, McQuillan, and Hirsch against the Cardinals' third line of Berkland, Stender, and Jensen.
This will clear the zone as they're unable to keep it in. The Cardinals. Revering has to go back all the way. Plays it away there from McQuillan. Himley comes into the play now. Has it in the corner briefly. Back to the point. Held in here by Landon Johnson. Still tucks it in. Goes into the slot. Now here's a quick shot. Hit traffic in front. Rebound in front. Puck is underneath Boleen, and he makes the save. And holds on. Landon Johnson was able to weave his way in from the right point to the right circle to the slot. A lot of traffic there to shoot, but he was able to get some kind of a shot off.
That was a good shift for the Little Falls Flyers' third line. Himley, Hirsch, and McQuillan. They generated that scoring chance late in that shift, and Boleen had to come up big on that Johnson shot.
5:35 to go. Boleen had the puck to the side of the net, stuck there briefly. Now it's controlled here by Powell. Powell plays it over on the tape there of Westland. Westland rink-wide pass to Strong. He comes across the Flyer line. Strong now plays it in the corner to Doherty. Doherty bumped off the play there by Landon Johnson. Rexted also coming in there to try to help out. Puck squirts out without a stick there is Landon Johnson, but he uses his glove and a great job of kicking it all the way over to Philippi, who plays it out to center. And then Young will send it in and chase after it. Carlson goes back. Inside of 5 minutes to go in this one. Puck behind the netminder Boleen on the end wall. Paul's been out there a lot. He might be getting a change here soon. Still out there, however. Here's Rexted now. Rexted sends it towards Boleen, gloves it down, and will leave it off for Jack Powell once again. Powell will skate it out to center. Pass too strong for Strong. This will get by. That should have been an icing. They wave it off, saying Hubbard probably could have played it. Hubbard now gives it off here to Jennings. Jennings will skate it up to the blue line. Tried to pass over to Blue. It's intercepted here by Dropic. Dropic then is bumped off the play there briefly by Hubbard. Shot taken there by Dropic. Piece of that one. That time at the netminder Pakula. Down to 4:10 to go here in the third. We're tied at 2. Hubbard trying to play it back now here to Jennings. Jennings will float it out to center. The outlet pass wouldn't connect. And
Murad's not happy. He felt either he touched it or the Cardinals touched it on the Alexandria side of the red line. And you don't see Murad get that animated, so you'd have to believe that someone did touch it on the Alexandria side of the red line and that it shouldn't have been icing.
Well, we've seen a few missed calls tonight by the officials, at least on some icings in that. Maybe another one there. 4:01 to go in the third. We're tied at 2. Stender wins the draw, but throws it all the way back. Puck picked up here now by Latimer. Latimer now looks it across the blue line. Picked up here by Stender. Stender now is able to keep it in to Latimer. Gets it back to Stender in the circle. They try to pass it over down low. Shot taken that one just wide by Berkeley. Bigger now has it. He'll play it in the corner. 3:35 to go here in the third. We're tied at 2. In the corner the play is now. Behind the net, this is Jensen with it. Jensen plays it back over to Bigger. Bigger now to the right side. Latimer's got some shooting room. Fires a shot on net. That must have hit traffic in front. And it'll be Hubbard that'll play it back out to center ice. 3:15 to go here in the third. Stender coming across the line, moves around Jennings, fires, and that penalty coming up here. Wow. With 3:06 to go, they're going to have a penalty call. It's going to be a hooking call, a late penalty coming up here.
Well, give Stender credit, drove hard to the net, and that hard drive to the net drew the penalty, and it's going to be a Little Falls Flyers short-handed situation as boxed is Josh Jennings.
I don't know necessarily if that took away a scoring opportunity, but the official said it was enough to warrant a penalty. Here's a breakaway the other way. Philippi coming in. He fires high. And Mario had an opportunity. foul. He saw him starting to come in on the right side, and Mario's shot just went high and over Boleen and into the safety netting. The faceoff's going to come outside the zone.
Oh, a little reminiscent of the St. Cloud Cathedral game at home when Kapan had a breakaway late in regulation and didn't score. Flyers lost in overtime. Mario Philippi working as hard as ever, had a partial breakaway shorthanded and just fired it over everything.
At least in the Cathedral game, Kapan at least got the shot and it hit the goaltender. The goaltender, Amundsen, made a great save. Here, Philippi just completely missed. Philippi gets it back, gets it out of Kapan. Kapan with a low shot. This is short-handed, and the save is made by Boleen, and he holds on. Just a reminder, it's just after 9 o'clock. You're listening to Flyer Hockey on Q92, WYRQ Little Falls, also on fallsradio.com, and on Flyer Media Productions, Channel 181, YouTube, and the Cube. James Hershey, Jamie Pettit here at the Exchange Arena.
This is the third power play for Alexandria. They're 0 for 2. Watch out for Westland and Doherty.
Minute 20 to go on the power play. 2:26 to go in the game. We're tied at 2. Flyers are trying to kill this off, and it's played to the line and all the way out to center ice and all the way down by Landon Johnson. Almost didn't look like he was going to get enough of that, but he did get enough.
There was no one in the way of that.
Last 15 seconds.
Came on, and they're just jamming away as hard as they possibly can at that puck. And you're thinking Pakula's going to look behind him at some point, and the puck is going to be in the net. But it was underneath the pads of Pakula. He held strong.
2 seconds left. Latimer, 1 second. Jennings comes back out. Latimer takes a shot. It was tipped by Stender and out, and that'll come out of the zone with 1:02 to go here in the third period, and we're tied at 2.
Both teams have had 3 power plays tonight. Alexandria 0 for 3 with the man advantage. Little Falls 1 for 3 with the power play. And that power play goal came for the Flyers with 44 seconds to go in the second from Philippi that tied the game. And now Tony Kuchar, the head coach of the Little Falls Flyers, has exercised his 1-minute timeout with 1:02 remaining in the third. 2-2 tie. Shots favor Alexandria 31-18.
Justin Pakula tonight, he is locked in, and he has come up with some big saves, especially in the last 15 seconds here of this power play opportunity for the Cardinals.
Well, Tuesday night, Little Falls lost to Sartell 6-1. It was 5-1 Sartell after 2 periods, and Justin Pakula was relieved by Will Ritters. Ritters played well in period 3, only allowed 1 Sabre goal, so Pakula didn't play in period 3, got a little extra rest for tonight's game with Alexandria.
So faceoff just comes outside the blue line here when we play resumes. 1:02 yet to go. Head coach Tony Kuchar on the bench there, you can see, along with Wesley Watashik and Bob Stark. They've got things figured out here, and we'll see what they decide to do in the last minute 2 at least of regulation time, as we're tied at 2, down to a minute now. Laid out at center, Revering going to dump it back in. Going back to pick up the loose puck will be Jennings. Jennings plays it over now to Johnson, goes off the tape there of Kapan out to center, picked up by Strong. He'll come across the line. Strong now left side, plays it in the slot here to Westland. Couldn't get a shooting shot on, and now a penalty coming up here.
It might be on Mario.
What? Wow.
It was a collision at the blue line.
No,
it's going to be on Alexandria. I couldn't tell the collision, but then, of course, the whistle didn't blow until the Cardinals possessed the puck, and it's going to be on Jack Westland.
Boy, I'm surprised they call a penalty either way this late in the game, especially outside here where it had nothing to do with the play. But they call a penalty, and it's a Pizza Ranch power play. Doherty wins the draw, and then toe drags it right to himself, and then they'll skate back in his own end. He's going to kill off some of this. This will be cleared the length of the ice right onto the netminder Pakula, who'll leave it off with 17 seconds left. Johnson gives it to Jennings, 13 seconds left. Out to center ice now. It'll be picked up here by Philippi. Boy, that was offsides, they say. And we're down to 7 seconds left. Faceoff will come outside the zone, and we're about ready, I think, here to go to overtime once again.
Well, and the good news for Little Falls is not only are they on the power play, but the penalized Cardinal was Jack Westland, one of their top forwards.
Face-off outside the blue line. One here by the Flyers. Johnson brings it in. 3 seconds, fires a shot, and just getting a piece of that one was Boleen with a second remaining. I almost spoke too soon. We're going to overtime.
That was a good scoring chance for the Flyers. Johnson was looking for the top left corner.
1 second left. And now they're going to kick out Berkland. And that'll do it. We're going to go to overtime. So we have played once again, Jamie, 51 minutes of hockey. You add on another 59 minutes we played on November 30th. That is 110 minutes of hockey, and we are still tied.
Shots favor Alexandria 32-18. It's going to be an 8-minute overtime. First, we're going to have a 3-minute rest. The goaltenders will change ends. So Justin Pakula in the overtime will be to our right, and Jackson Boleen to our left. Shots on goal in the third, 12 for Alexandria, 5 for Little Falls. A good period for Justin Pakula, 12-12.
All right, let's get our scoring summary of the third period, brought to you by Schlenner, Wenner and Company, a regional independent CPA serving the area since 1964. Offices in Little Falls, Albany, St. Cloud, Monticello, and Maple Lake. And with that third period summary, here's Jamie Pettit.
Little Falls led 1-0 after one. Only goal of the first period, Mason Dempsey. Alexandria outscored Little Falls 2-1 in the second. Jacob Stender and Jack Powell scored for the Cardinals. For the Little Falls Flyers, only goal of period 2 on the power play from Mario Philippi. There was no scoring in the third. Shots on goal in period 3, 12 for Alexandria, 5 for Little Falls. Through 51 minutes through regulation, Alexandria has a 32-18 shots on goal advantage. Justin Pakula, 12 of 12 in the third period. Jackson Boleen, 5 of 5 in the Cardinal net in period 3. Boleen tonight is 30 of 32. Little Falls 1 for 3 on the power play. Alexandria 0 for 3 on the power play.
That's the quickest.
And that was not a 3-minute rest.
That was the quickest.
There's no way that was a 3-minute rest.
I was just going to say, there's no way that was. That was the quickest 3 minutes ever. Well, I guess we'll drop the puck. We'll play. Still a minute 20 to go on the Pizza Ranch power play here. And we got 8 minutes on the board. And the Cardinals will clear it the length of the ice. We're tied at 2. Next goal wins it within this 8 minutes. Otherwise, we'll have another tie. Here comes Landon Johnson. He'll come across the blue line. Almost touching it there was Murad. Instead, it'll be cleared the length of the ice by the Cardinals once again. Justin Bakula to our right. Jackson Boleen to our left. As it's played here now by Jennings. Jennings will skate it up right side because it's a Capan. Try to pass it over Murad. Intercepted there by Pesta. And then cleared back once again down to the Flyers zone. Now Wasepka coming in. Wasepka taking it away there from Pakula briefly. And then Wasepka then spun out of there. And Pakula luckily got it away from Wasepka.
Looked like they were playing foosball back there behind the net.
Pesta intercepts it now. Now nearly moves into the slot with it and had it taken away by Johnson at the last second.
Great play by Landon Johnson.
Now Landon nearly got beat, and he got back in time and then poked it away there before Pesta could get a shot off.
And the puck ends up in the Cardinal bench. That might have hit John Cullen, assistant coach for the Alexandria Cardinals.
14 seconds left here on the power play. 6:46 to go here in the overtime frame. We're tied at 2. Face-off going to come out at center ice. And the Flyers haven't got anything going yet here on the power play. Right now, the stronger of the two teams looks like the Cardinals, at least early on here. Reese Hubbard back in his own end. Hubbard spins around there from Jensen. Gets it over to Murad. Murad now up to Tate. Tate briefly touched there by Ballou. Then Landon Johnson had it. Played back down to Berkland. He'll come across the blue line. Berkland, a shot glove save made there. Played to the end wall. It goes. Puck behind the net. Now to the side of the net is where it's played here by Stender. Stender bumped off the puck just enough. That'll make Landon Johnson play it to the line. Latimer keeps it in. Fink will go back to pick up the puck now. He'll give it off here, this time to Murad, who plays it off the end wall. Gets it back to Johnson, who's being channeled there by Westland. Inside of 6 minutes to go here in overtime. Johnson gets it out to center ice, and Westland picks up the puck and has it tipped in front there by Ballou. Intercepted here by Hubbard. Now to Ballou, and he'll sweep it in, and they'll chase after it. Latimer gets back there first for the Cardinals. Comes off a weird angle once again on that Zamboni door there, and nearly ended up on the tape of Mario Philippi right in front of the net. Now Westland, he'll come across the blue line, put on the brakes, takes a shot, but that hit traffic, and then bounces into the corner. As it deflects off, Young will play it back out to center ice here for the Flyers, and then it'll be Strong dumping it back in. Hubbard plays it off the end wall. He'll give it off to Jennings. Jennings off the boards on the far side to Capan. Caught here by Philippi at the Cardinal blue line. Philippi with a turnaround shot. That one off the back wall. And we're down to 5 minutes to go here in overtime. Puck squirts out to the left of the netminder, Bullion that is. Picked up here now by Powell. Powell now will start it out at center. Got hacked a little bit from behind there by Young. Now Powell is bumped off the play. He actually got a 2-for-1 deal there as Young took Powell and Westland into the boards. Westland now has it. Westland comes across the line. Here's Doherty, and I checked that stone puck is in the goal, but somehow it's slid across into the net. And it's a goal. I don't even know if that was even hit by a stick into the net. It might have gone in off a skate or been dragged in by a knee.
Time of the goal, 3:28 of overtime. I'm guessing Westland's going to get credit for it. Max Strong was also down close to the net. It was just a mad scramble in front of Pakula, and it was just agonizing. You could see the puck, and it slowly made its way into the net. The game winner for the Alexandria Cardinals, 3-2 in overtime. And once again on home ice, Little Falls has a shot at one of the better teams in Section 6A. Last week it was a 4-3 loss to St. Cloud Cathedral in overtime. Tonight they lose in the extra session to the Alexandria Cardinals.
Final score, 3-2. Cardinals win. For our radio listening audience, we'll take a break. We'll come back with a post-game show. You're listening to Flyer Hockey on Q92 and FallsRadio.com. And welcome back once again for our viewing audience. James Hershey along with Jamie Pettit, and once again a heartbreaking loss for the Flyers as they lose in overtime by a score of 3-2 on that one. What a game it was for both teams. Back and forth. It is finally decided, though, with 3:28 into the overtime frame. The goal scored. I don't even think, did they say who the goal was scored by?
I have not heard the announcement.
I don't know.
I'm speculating it was Westland. Strong was also down there. Powell made a nice play near the blue line to keep the puck in the zone.
Yeah, they haven't said yet who scored the goal, so hopefully we'll get that. Maybe we won't. I have no idea. Somebody will have to tell us who scored the goal. But 3-2 is the final, is once again in overtime, and yet another loss here for the Flyers, a heartbreaking loss. They had that 4-3 loss to St. Cloud Cathedral. Of course, back a couple weeks ago here, where they had a couple of chances late in the game to win it and eventually lost in overtime. And here, once again, a 2-2 score going into the overtime frame. Justin Bakula did everything he could, made the saves. Just the puck was in the slot. Like I said, I don't even know if it went off even a stick. It might have just been pushed in with all the commotion going on there.
Little Falls did have the power play to start overtime, and they were unable to convert, at least according to the scoreboard. They didn't even have a shot on goal on that power play to start the overtime. And the only shot of overtime is the one that ended up in the back of the Little Falls Flyer net.
So your final score in this one, once again, 3-2. We're still no final score here, I guess. We'll have to wait for the score sheet, maybe.
The announcement could have been made, and we might have missed it.
Well, we'll have to take a look in just a moment. As we're wrapping things up here in just a moment, once again, 3-2 was the final, as the Flyers end the game here. And unfortunately, with that loss, that makes it tough for them to maybe jump ahead of the Cardinals, or for that matter, River Lakes. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Well, they're in a tough spot because they don't have any more games against Section 6A teams. Here comes Tony Kuchar.
Head coach Tony Kuchar will be joining us here in just a moment. I'll let you grab the headset there. As we're just about ready to bring back our radio audience too. So we'll get everybody situated here. As once again, we're on Flyer Media Productions, channel 181, along with theCUBE and YouTube, and just about ready to go back here on Q92. Head coach Tony Kuchar joining us. You can hear me okay, Coach? All right, perfect. All right, we welcome back our radio audience once again. Final score in this one in overtime. It was Alexandria 3, Little Falls 2. Joining me now is head coach Tony Kuchar. And Tony, boy, what a game it was indeed tonight. And unfortunately, the Flyers just couldn't get that win again.
No, that disappointment, you know. I thought maybe the way our power play was moving the puck just before the end there, we couldn't even get it into their zone. And unfortunately, that would have been a prime opportunity to at least get a shot and make them make a save. But and then again at the end, just not getting the puck deep and not picking up guys in front of the net. I think he probably came in and wide open, just tapped it in off the pad. So
from our vantage point, it was kind of tough to see. There was a scrum going on there. I wasn't sure if it was actually touched by somebody in, if it was maybe swooped in by some bodies pushing it in, but regardless, it went into the net.
Absolutely. So I thought Justin had a wonderful game tonight again. He kept us in the game. Obviously when you have a goaltender like that, you can get into the game and you can get outshot, 31 to 18 or 19 or whatever it was. But, we hung in there again. Alexandria's a good team. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a way to win.
Tony, I thought your third line played really well. Sam Himley, Sia McQuillan, Gabe Hirsch, obviously evolved into that once Sawada left the game.
Right.
Their third line featured Jacob Stender. So that would have to be a tough matchup for you.
I thought early on they made some mistakes, our third line just not getting it in deep, thinking that they were going to skate by everybody. But, they popped a goal in on us on our third line early on, and I think from that time on, I thought our third line played very well. I thought our D, I thought everybody played a pretty good game. I mean, obviously, when you get down to the end and they score on you, it's a tough deal. But again, I go back to special teams. I thought we did an outstanding job on their power play. We obviously scouted them. We knew what they were going to do, and we allowed them to kind of play on the perimeter. They took some shots wide, or we blocked a lot of shots tonight also. So, but it comes down to that special teams. We get a power play with 36 seconds left. One thing I got to mention on a split power play, very very difficult when you go from a period to period. It's not fluent. You don't get that 2 minute, and it's kind of jumbled. And that could have been part of the reason for a lack of consistency on getting the puck in on their power play.
You guys actually did very well on the penalty kill late in the third period. You actually had 3 scoring chances, and Alexandria wasn't doing very well.
Mario whipped her over the net on that semi-breakaway. So how many times have we talked about that now? We've had some 30-seconder let's put it away and just not happening. So that's the way the ball bounces. We played well.
So maybe all this stuff that is happening now will finally get it to happen in the playoffs, so we can propel us on to win one game after another. One thing I guess you got to say is, as a coach, you've got to be happy and pleased with this team, the way they're playing against the competition that you are going to see come playoff time.
Well, you think about it. We played Cathedral twice, a top 10 team. We've played Sartell twice. This is in a row without anybody in there. We played Monticello, who's a top 10 team. We played Alexandria once, which maybe 13th. We played Ferguson there, our arch rival, and it hasn't been easy.
No.
I mean, it's been a grind, and hopefully at the end of the year, this grind through this stretch will help us in that first round playoff game.
A lot of excitement coming into this hockey game tonight because you had number 24 in the lineup. We saw that he went out in the first period. What's the status on him?
We're not sure. Hit the same area on the collarbone again, so I'm not sure if it is re-break, or if it's just something, but it doesn't look good, but I guess I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to really say what it is because I don't really know.
Absolutely, but unfortunately you saw after that happened, the team seemed a little bit maybe deflated early on.
Well, I think anytime that your captain that just coming back and excited to play goes down and out, and you always think the worst. So I mean, unfortunately, but I think they were playing for him a little bit. I thought that our kids skated hard. Granted, we make little mistakes, which cost us goals, but for the most part, you talk about their second goal was a special shorthanded. That's the first shorthanded goal we gave up all year. Not at a good time, but so special teams plays a huge part at the end of the year.
Tony, Jack Powell, their defenseman. We had a chance last night to see the game in Fergus Falls, and Powell jumped up into the play numerous times last night. He did the same thing tonight, and he's the one that got that shorthanded goal. Absolutely.
He's a nice player. He skates well, and he's got his head up, and he's done a nice job. The games that I've watched him, he's a nice defenseman for Alexandria.
All right, Coach. Well, you unfortunately get the loss here. The season comes to an end, at least with section games. You have 3 games remaining, 2 at home, 1 on the road. Your next game coming up will be against Sauk Rapids. And like Jamie mentioned, this is an important game still for the seeding side of things because Sauk Rapids plays into a lot of these teams in your section.
Absolutely. They're playing the Central Lakes. Alexandria plays them. Sartell plays them. I'm not sure if Cathedral played them yet, but most of the team in our sections play them, and if not, some of the other teams that are not in the conference, Central Lakes Conference, will play them. So, yeah, it's what do you say? It's okay because I think we played our hearts out, and unfortunately on the scoreboard we just didn't quite get it done.
All right, Coach, we will see you in a week here, or at least 6 days from now. We'll be back on Channel 181 here in the Cube for that game against Sauk Rapids Rice.
Absolutely, and kudos to the Flyer Media Production. They've done a great job. Again, Mr. Deal, outstanding, just puts a lot of effort into it, and I know the people back home that don't get an opportunity to come here and watch it, get an opportunity to watch it. And
including your assistant coach that's home sick tonight.
Unfortunately, yes, Christova's not feeling very well, and he was. We had him on by text message in between periods. He does an awesome job. He's our X's and O guy. He knows it all. So. But again, just came up short again.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Once again, that is the head hockey coach of the Little Falls Flyers. That is Tony Kuchar. And I guess we'll wrap things up at least with our television broadcast here. And once again, special thanks to Mark Deal, who's on the other side of the cameras, and also I know Austin Moore in the truck along with the rest of the kids that were part of the cameras and the crew tonight. You're going to see a list of that coming up here in just a moment. Of course, we will have more Flyer Media Production hockey games, as I mentioned. Next Thursday we'll be back here as the Flyers will take on the Sauk Rapids Rice Storm, and that will be just after 7 o'clock, about a 7:15 game. Our pregame coverage about 7 o'clock or whatever, just a little after that.
Well, I remember last year when you said, Jamie, are you interested in working with Flyer Media Productions, having some of these games on TV along with the radio broadcasts? And I said, well, I'm willing to give it a try. And boy, it's worked out well. They do a great job. We have a lot of fun covering the games with Flyer Media Productions, and we have 2 more remaining before the regular season comes to an end.
That we do. So once again, for our TV audience, thank you so much for watching, and we will talk to you next Thursday. Good night, everyone. And welcome back once again for our audience.